But what's coming now?
How are you? Welcome to the Sports 1440 Facebook, X, and Instagram. Hope you are having a lovely Monday. Had a great weekend. Of course, the NHL draft came and went. I know some people are like, oh my God, it took too long. Yeah, it did. The same people, though, that get upset about it taking too long are the same ones who get super upset. I can't believe they traded away a third-round pick for this guy. So in one mouthful, you'll say it's a really valuable pick, but then you're mad that they take their time to make the pick. I don't get too worried about the length. The decentralized draft, if they're going to do it again, and I would guess they're probably not, but if they are, they can really tighten it up by scrapping the needless, pointless interviews with the players and their management team right after. Let the player and the management team talk to each other. Just let them call them on the phone. Hey, man, we're happy to have you. Great. That's what matters. And if you want a video, and you can, if some of them, you can record them all, and any good ones, then you play later in the broadcast. Pretty simple, but that would move it along much quicker in my eyes. You could cut out an hour for sure doing that. Remember, whether it's decentralized or not, now the first round's become a 4-hour event, and that's fine. Teams take their time. First round picks can make or break a franchise, so they're rather important. So I get it. I'm never going to worry too much about time. I'll worry about content. And I didn't love the interview. Hey, we're happy to have you. Imagine GM. You know what? We didn't really want you, but the guys we wanted were taken, so you're our third choice. Like, of course. So, but I don't get too wrapped up in it. I think it's a little bit less exciting for the players in that regard? Probably. But at the end of it, you're drafted. It's all that matters if you're drafted. And now the real work begins for all the draft picks, because I'm telling you, it is hard. It's hard. Getting drafted is great, but now it's just you're higher up in the pyramid. You're one step higher up the rung, and there's more competition. So the Oilers, Tommy Lafreniere, they took in the third round David Lewandowski from the Saskatoon Blades. In the fourth round, they traded a pick, a fifth rounder next year to get Asher Barnett, the defenseman from the National USA Development Team. Then they went to Europe to get a goalie, Daniel Salonen, and their last pick in the seventh round, Aidan Park. And I actually quite like that story of Aidan Park. So, you know what? He's an LA kid. He didn't get drafted last year, and he was there on day one of the draft because one of his buddies was getting drafted. So he was there for Lee, and Lee got drafted by Nashville. And he was like, well, I thought we were going to hang out the next day, but then he went on a private plane to Nashville. And the Preds did have 3 first rounders, so they sent them all there to get him in right away. And Park said, well, you know what? I'll just go to the draft. And he's there. He's in a hoodies. He clearly didn't think that he was going to go for the and boys, check it out online. But, he didn't think he was going to get drafted.
Yeah.
So he still went there, sat with his hoodie on, and lo and behold, got taken at the second last pick of the draft. And and I loved his post-draft interview. Incredibly well spoken. So he's going to join us on the show today. So we will have Aidan Park. We're also going to have Trent Frederic joining us in the 5 o'clock hour today. Kevin Woodley, because free agency begins tomorrow. We'll talk some more goaltending. John Gibson, who neither one of Woodley and I were overly enamored by him being a fit to Edmonton. Well, he goes to Detroit. Mrazek, not Martin Mrazek, but Peter Mrazek goes to Anaheim, as well as a second and a fourth rounder. So you look at Anaheim, and then they signed Ville Husso. Like, I don't know if there's a goalie in the NHL who has made more money by doing less than Ville Husso. It's unbelievable. Like, good for him. But Ville Husso, you look at his numbers, and I know like he really had 4 good games in Nashville. Right? That's what he did. He had 4 good games in Nashville. But remember, he signed in St. Louis, and he had his year in 2022. He had a pretty good year. And so then he got a 4-year deal as a free agent and got $4.75 million. $4.75 million bucks. It's huge. That was after playing, 17 games? It was nuts. And so he's in Detroit for 3 years, 896, 892, 866, getting worse every year. Then he goes to Anaheim and finishes it out. And now he's going to get a 2-year deal at $2.2 million. Amazing. Absolutely amazing. So good for him. He has he's found a way. There's obviously somebody that likes him. And it's interesting, though, because they don't have the style signed. They've got Mrazek at 4.25, and now they got Ville Husso at 2.2. So that's a pretty expensive number 3 goaltender, unless they feel they're going to just move Mrazek. I don't think they'd move Husso. They just signed him, but we'll see. Maybe hey, guys, let's sign the guy for 2.2 and then think we can move him. But either way, Ville and Mrazek and Dostal are the goalies in Anaheim. NHL news today. You have Ekblad staying in Florida for $6.1 million. I know the cap's going up. I still am not. I'll be surprised if this contract for Ekblad ages well. 8 years at $6.1 million. It's in a perfect system for him. Great job, but I'll be surprised. So we'll see. You know what? Foot speed's not necessarily his forte, but how they play in that system works. But him and Sam Bennett, I love Sam Bennett. But Sam Bennett getting 8 years, the style that he plays at $8 million for a guy who scored 50 points for your team, like good for him. But, 49, 40, 41, 51. And he got $8 million. He's been a good playoff performer, there's no doubt. And his last 3 years in the postseason, good. But 8 years, $8 million, not a huge fan. So we'll see what happens. Now, speaking of free agency, it does begin tomorrow. We are actually 20 hours away from free agency beginning, just under 20 hours away. And the Oilers, I believe, they're going to be trying to dip their toe in looking for a scoring winger. Now, there's not a lot of them. But Brock Besser is definitely someone that they have interest in. They've got their sights set on him. He does something the Oilers don't have a lot of guys who do well. He's excellent in front of the net. Not just so much tipping pucks, but being very good at getting in the eyes of the goalie and creating screens. Talk to people in Vancouver, and he didn't get a lot of assists on the plays where he was a direct result of being in the eyes. And we'll talk to Woodley about that. That's a skill. It's something the Oilers did not do very well against Bobrovsky in the final. So obviously he can, Brock Besser's pretty productive player. But like 8 years, I'd be leery of it. I know free agency, rarely do you get deals. Right? There's a lot of projection, 8.3, 8.5. And I'm like, man, the guy's been over 55 points once in his career. He had a great 40-goal season, 73 assists, 73-point season, right? Other than that, he's like a 45 to 55-point guy. Now, you come to Edmonton, you play with McDavid and Draisaitl, you probably could increase those numbers a bit, for sure. But it'd be hard to match, the value of what Zach Hyman gets you as a free agent winger, right? Like that's what made the Zach Hyman contract so well. He was a UFA, and you got him on a deal that was able for him to overachieve on it. Every year he's giving you better value than what his contract is. And that to me is a good problem to have. So we'll see. Some interesting names that are that weren't free agents that now are free agents. Lundstrom and
you're listening
Brett
to Jason Gregor Show presented by.
We're not qualified. That comes down here in the next hour. The Oilers, the only interesting one. Bouchard, we know, is going to get qualified. Noah Philp signed a contract.
Only at PlayAlberta.ca.
Really, it's going to come down to Olivier Rodrigue, and I'm not sure which way the Oilers are leaning. I still think it probably could do it, but we'll see. So there it goes. 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. Can text us in our email inbox. It is the Gregor Show, as always, presented by PlayAlberta.ca. Get in the game. What a week for the Blue Jays. The Blue Jays sweep the Yankees. They could be tied for first place. Big series starting tonight, so you can get on that. Of course, casino, live dealer, lottery, and more at PlayAlberta.ca. They got an odds boost on the Jays and the Yankees game. You can check it out for the amount of runs that will be scored in tonight's game. As mentioned, we will have Woodley will be by. Also, Steve Hogle will talk a little Riverhawks. They're home again starting a homestand, including a sold-out Canada Day game. So don't bother showing up. It's sold out for tomorrow. That is their marquee game of the year. It's become a huge game for baseball fans to go to, and it's awesome that it's sold out. The Stingers had another big win. Stingers starting to find their game here a little bit. It's awesome as they get by Winnipeg. We'll have Speck be by, Tater in the 2-minute warning, and more. Declan Kruger, of course. We'll talk a little Elks. The Elks, we'll get back at it later this week because they have a home game on Sunday against Ottawa. And, hey, in need of a win are the Green and Gold. There was lots of good signs in that game, but they got back-to-back home games, both on Sunday, both at 5 o'clock on the 6th and the 13th. And here's an opportunity to, you get a win in that first one. It's going to be a nice day out, at least according to the weather right now. Then all of a sudden, that's how you're going to build your fan base back up. We saw it last year. They started winning some games. People came out to the games. I think they're doing better in their in-game presentation, but you just look at the league, and you don't want to go 0-4 and be that far behind everybody else. Okay? You just don't want to be. So everybody else got to win. The Elks need a win. No question. They got Ottawa. They're 1-3. And, well, if you're looking at teams to give you maybe the best chance to win against, that's definitely one of them. So we'll touch on that as well. Some other news in the National Hockey League. There were a few trades. If you missed it, Nicholas Hague is now a member of the Nashville Predators, and he signed a $5.5 million contract, 5.5 AAV for him. Alex Romanov, 8 years at 6.25. He'll stay. Well, that's an extension with the New York Islanders, so that's a pretty big deal. Michael DiPietro, there was a few of you had a pretty good idea on, hey, would this guy be a good option as a third goalie? And I think it was valid. But he signs 2 years, just over $800K to stay with the Boston Bruins. I mentioned Philp staying here. We mentioned the Ekblad contract. Kasperi Kapanen gets a 1-year, $1.3 million deal with the Oilers. I know some people are thinking that's an overpay. Like, I don't know, to me, we're worrying about, what is he, slightly overpaid. I think for what you know from the player, I don't have much of an issue with him at all. I do like the contract for Matthew Nyes with the Toronto Maple Leafs, 6 years at $7.75 million. That's a solid deal. I think that's a really solid deal for them. Dante Fabro got 4 years at 4.125. The Claude Giroux contract, 1 year at $2 million. It's a really good deal for Ottawa. You got an older player who wants to be in a team. That's what happens. You can get that's where you can get some deals. 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. Hey, Greg, do you think any team will get hit with tampering charges from Stair Farmer? I don't know, man. I think it's really hard to prove it. You would have to get records. Can the NHL subpoena phone records of an agent? I don't even know if legally they can. Maybe. But I think it's pretty difficult. So someone would have to probably screw up in their communications. We know that this team's, we know it, right? We know it. So I'm not surprised it gets brought up because it's Toronto. I'm not going to make more of a big deal with it at all. So, hey, Gregor, do you think it's funny and should lead to some caution that the big three that were signed 1 year ago tomorrow are all being run out of town? Who are you talking about for the orders? Arvidsson, Skinner. Who's the other one? Is Adam Henrique who you're mentioning in that conversation? Yeah, they retained him, but you're right. I guess they did sign. They also Connor Brown. Well, Jeff Skinner's a free agent. He's leaving. I never really buy into the running out of town. Victor Arvidsson himself asked for a change, right? He asked for a trade. So I don't know if is he being run out of town? No, I think he realizes that this wasn't a great fit for him. So it happens. That's all. It happens. So we'll see. Quick break. When we come back, Kevin Woodley will join us, and we will talk about the goaltending, amongst other things, for the Oilers. We do have some text. Hey, Gregor, do you think Bouchard and the Oilers are going to get a contract done? Well, I've said it many times. I think they're going to get a 4-year deal done. It's going to come in around $10 million. That's my guess. So I jokingly was on Spitting Chicklets, and I said, hey, if I was Bouchard, just for fun, I would have signed for 9.95 because then no one says I'm a $10 million player and you got less ammo. But Bouchard's contract is going to start with the 1-0. Will it be 10.2, 10.1, 10.0, 10.4? That I don't know. But I expect a 4-year deal somewhere around there for Evan Bouchard. Quick break. We'll return on the Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
McDonald's summer drink days are back, which means it's officially summer. Enjoy your refreshing small Coca-Cola or small iced coffee for just $1 all summer. Summer's booming with summer drink days. Excludes flavored iced coffee at participating McDonald's in Canada. Taxes extra. Prices exclude delivery.
At On the Rocks, the party never stops. Mondays, bingo tunes.
Tuesdays, tacos and tequila.
Wednesdays, it's wings and karaoke.
Shake what your mama gave you with salsa lessons on Thursdays and the best live DJs.
Plus, live music every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, along with DJ Kenny K.
Hold on, let's not forget $5 happy hour, 7 days a week.
Your bar, your party. You're On the Rocks.
On the Rocks.
Chat West Ave and 118th.
You have a choice, and it's a hard one. GMC employee pricing or 0% financing at Wolf GMC Buick. A hard choice, but also super awesome. Get GMC employee pricing on our Sierra lineup, from the Sierra half-ton to the heavy duties. If you have cash, get discounts over $12,000 on many of our Sierras, along with GMC pricing. Or choose 0% financing on our Sierra half-ton lineup. And what a great selection of GMC Terrains and fabulous Buick SUVs to pick from. So many choices. But one thing's for sure, you are getting the best deal at Wolf GMC Buick.
You don't have to wait. Boxing Day is back at the Brick. For 4 days, shop incredible deals, like mattresses starting at just $99. Save big on genuine leather sofas and sectionals. Queen beds start at only $199. And save the tax when you buy 2 or more major kitchen appliances. Plus, get free local delivery on outdoor furniture purchases of $499 or more. Some exclusions apply. See in store for details. Boxing Day starts Friday at the Brick, saving you more.
The job isn't done until the last load is hauled, and having a semi-trailer out of commission is not an option. Whether replacing or adding to your convoy, Edmonton Trailer has a huge inventory of new and used semi-trailers, trusted by the gravel, logging, oil field, fluids, and freight industries. Find a trailer right for you online or at one of their 3 locations. For sales, service, parts, rental, and finance, when you're in it for the long haul, Edmonton Trailer.
Your hard hat and huddle up. Your Edmonton Elks take on the Ottawa Red Blacks this Sunday at 5. It's the first ever hard hat huddle game, presented by Purolator Tackle Hunger, featuring excavators and diggers in the tailgate and construction-themed in-game contests. Tickets start at just $20. Score yours now at goelks.com.
Luke from Catch of the Week here. If you've heard me singing on the radio, you know I'm crazy about Canada. So of course, we're going all out for Canada Day. Come shop super fresh seafood selections for your Canada Day celebration and get a true North Strong and free old cooked lobster. Don't miss out. Get your free lobster with purchase today.
Conditions apply. See Catch of the Week for details. Just off the Hen Bay, 5 minutes from Sherwood Park. Details and directions at catchoftheweekedmonton.com.
This summer, get it done with Bashaw Concrete Products. The highest quality ready mix and gravel with quick, dependable delivery across Central Alberta. Call now for your free quote from their friendly, helpful team. Bashaw Concrete Products also offers precast water pads for your cattle, garage sumps, and water cisterns. And if your farm, acreage, or cabin needs a new septic tank, remember, their CSA-approved tanks include a 20-year limited replacement warranty. Can't beat that. Visit BashawConcrete.com and follow them on Facebook.
Reports suggest that Canadian taste buds are bored to tears.
My mouth can't handle another dull drink.
Summertime smoothie experts everywhere are recommending a watermelon wake-up from Booster Juice.
It's so smooth, cool, and refreshing.
And ridiculously delicious. Enjoy the Watermelon Wave and Watermelon Explosion smoothies, available all summer long at a Booster Juice near you. Stay cool, Canada.
Booster Juice, Canadian-born, blending since 1999.
Japa Machinery Group knows that XCMG may not roll off the tongue, but Japa's team will help keep your construction jobs rolling on time and on budget with heavy equipment sales and rentals. Visit japamachinery.com to find out more.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Crystal Glass, your clear choice for residential windows, locally manufactured and installed. Crystal Glass provides a beautiful product and incredible customer service for all your residential needs. Call 310 Glass or visit crystalglass.ca for a quote.
He's the only person to win an arm wrestling contest. Look good, feel good, play good. It's the Jason Gregor Show. Thanks for listening to Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
.222, welcome back. Jason Gregor, Declan Kruger with you, Sports 1440, Oilers Nation, YouTube, Facebook, and ex-con man is on holidays for the next few weeks. Josh will be running things online at Oilers Nation, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. Busy day, busy week coming up, of course. We'll see which teams are going to make good decisions and who's going to make close our eyes and hope that these signings work out decisions. I think there's going to be more of the latter. No question about it. It's just how it goes, man. It's a crazy time. Crazy time when it gets to free agency and you have lots of extra cap space available. That is a challenge, no doubt, for a lot of the NHL teams. Can you how bad do you want a player? And then are you willing to let it all go? We shall see. Let's get to our free agent report, goalie report, brought to you by your Alberta GMC dealers. Employee pricing continues on now. GMC, get up to $12,000 off on a 2025 Sierra 1500 Crew Cab Denali Ultimate, only at gmccanada.ca. And Woodley, we had him and then he disappeared. So we'll get him back momentarily. Maybe we'll just call him and see what happened there. As long as we get him on the phone, doesn't have to be on the camera today. Now, the Vancouver Canucks, the other big report is that Thatcher Demko, as early as tomorrow, will be officially signing a contract extension with the Vancouver Canucks. His name was bantied about as a potential to get moved by Edmonton. I never really thought that was realistic. So we'll see. Anyway, Woodley is now with us, and I guess let's start there, Kevin. This has been talked about for a while, but the Demko extension looks like he will be getting extended in Vancouver. I never really thought a trade made a whole bunch of sense for them, but how concerned do you think they would be on? I know Shilov's just won the Calder Cup, but there's a pretty big gap sometimes between the AHL and the NHL.
Yeah, no, I mean, am I surprised at the extension? I'd be lying if I said no. At least if I were to look back on how I thought about this at the start of the summer, this organization, this management staff, Jim Rutherford, and Patrick Allvin working with him in Pittsburgh, has never been one to go big on a tandem, despite winning 2 cups with Fleury and Matt Murray coming up as a youngster. Like, they've never spent. Matt Murray was on an ELC. They've never spent this type of money. And, they've been openly, up until this point, kind of averse to it, to be honest with you. So I didn't see this coming that way. Rutherford said, if both sides were willing to eat some risk, that it's something they'd like to pursue. Demko said he wanted to be back. But honestly, I thought it'd be easy to say and hard to do. And yet it seems like this is happening. I expect it to come in around 4 to 5 years, $6.5 to $7 million. So in terms of risk, the club seems to be taking more of it. For Demko, the risk is there was a bigger payday with more term waiting if he had one healthy season. But the reality, even before the popliteus and the significant knee injury, is that he'd yet to make it through a season healthy up until that point. Like, he just never made it through as number one. It was a question mark every year. No, I think that they overplayed him at times and contributed to that, absolutely, especially the year where ultimately he ended up getting hurt ahead of the series against the Oilers. There was a rush back from an injury, and the initial knee injury was caused by playing him at a 65-game pace for 6 weeks, needlessly.
Mm-hmm.
So I think they take some fault there. But in terms of risk, to me, Demko's is small, term and $1 million a year, but for him, the bet is, like, he gets his money regardless of what happens. For them, the bet is, can he stay healthy? And, we'll have to see. Now, he's working with Adam Francilia, who Oilers fans through this program will be very familiar with, works with Stuart Skinner, works with Connor Halley, is the guy that Andre Vasilevsky called last summer after undergoing the back surgery and struggling in his return to change the way he trains. So, if anybody can get Thatcher back to a 45-game level, I would bet my money on Adam Francilia. So, some interesting background there. But at the end of the day, I didn't expect them to commit. It's 9.5 this year on Demko's final year of the deal. It goes up to, depending on where this comes in at, anywhere from 11 to 12 million in goaltending. And while I think that's reasonable, given the level of goaltending you're getting, and it's going to be 10% of the cap this year roughly, and 10% next year because both will rise, both the contract and the cap. It is still a surprise to me that this management staff pursued that route. And yet, as everything else falls apart around them in terms of the pledge to upgrade the top 6 and the inability so far to do so in what has become a real not talentless, but there's not a ton of talent out there on the market, right? And nobody wants to trade for future. So they're going to need great goaltending. And this should give it to them. Demko has a higher ceiling. We saw what Lankinen did at the start of last season was like Hart Trophy worthy for a month and a half. But then it fell off quite sharply because he wasn't used to playing that many games. This should be best of both worlds. You get that version of Lankinen, and you have a better chance of keeping Thatcher Demko healthy if you continue to play him at a 45-game pace rather than a 65-game pace.
Yeah, that's fair. Now, we look at, can you tell me, what am I missing on Ville Husso? I don't know if there's a goalie that's got paid more to do less in the NHL in his time, and good for him. But he had a 4-year deal at 4.75. It didn't really work out ever in Detroit. And now he plays 4 good games in Anaheim, gets himself a 2-year deal at 2.2 mil.
Yeah, I mean, and statistically, I'm not even sure they were 4 great games, to be honest with you. Listen, this is about depth and a couple of options. One is he continues to show he played pretty well there overall, even if the underlying numbers aren't as flattering as the raw stuff. He was really good. I don't think he lost a game in their American Hockey League franchise. Okay, so this gives you the flexibility if he can show you early in the season or halfway through the season that he can be that guy. It gives you flexibility to move on Mrazek, because Anaheim is very much in to be a playoff. Like, they're making a hard push here with the hiring, with some of the moves they've made. Like, there's very much a mandate here to compete. The part that I don't think a lot of people realize, that I've checked in with sources on this one, so to confirm it, he was so good in their American Hockey League team. They've struggled to find answers in goal. I think there might be a secondary ownership portion there. I'm not sure that the Ducks necessarily own the San Diego Gulls.
Okay. Regardless,
there was pressure to have a really good option in San Diego in the American Hockey League. 2.2 means it's a lot less likely that another team claims him off waivers. You keep your American Hockey League team happy. Evidently, he was just fantastic with their prospects. That has value. And clearly the Ducks, a team who are well below the salary cap, and part of Husso's salary now, at least, there's only a portion that goes to the American League. You're gonna get closer to the floor, and they need to get to the floor. This kind of helps in unique ways keep them goalie rich depth-wise for a bunch of young prospects in the American Hockey League. I don't think anyone's claiming him at that number, Jason, and giving you an option as the year goes on if you decide to move on Peter Mrazek.
Well, yeah, I look at the Ducks, and I guess you can move on from Mrazek, but you still, you're going to have to eat half of it, right? I would think so. So
it kind of depends. Like look at the free agent market. Like, it's kind of like everything else, man. Everybody's re-signing. And it's like, so where's the talent? Like, where's the upper end talent? And so Peter Mrazek, Ducks have improved defensively. If he goes in there and puts up some really good numbers, you might even get a bidding war because there are a number of teams looking to upgrade their goaltending, and there aren't very many options that you can say are slam dunk upgrades. Mrazek, to me, I worry that he's a good, bad team goalie, but if he can get on a heater, and he's capable of heaters, we've seen that in the past. He runs hot and cold. He gets on a heater at the right time. You might be able to get an asset for him without having to eat too much. And even if you have to eat, as I said before, they need to get to the salary floor. That's not necessarily it won't be a problem for them on a short-term thing.
Okay. Now let's look at the fact that here we are. We're hearing, some goaltending coaching changes, Kev. It's kind of that time of the year. What are you hearing on that front?
Nothing firm, just kind of what everybody else is hearing, and that's that it doesn't that there seems to be some decisions that need to be made around the entire coaching staff. Obviously, the rumblings of Gulutzan going to Dallas, and it sounds like all the contracts. So I don't have any insider information. But if they do make that change, like, they're not the only ones looking. We just talked about Detroit, and they go out and get John Gibson. Well, the one thing they don't have is a goaltending coach. They fired Alex Westland, and their director of goaltending is gone as well. So there are other teams competing for services of goalie coaches. There may be a bit of musical chairs and some other ones that have sort of heard rumblings about. So I guess first off, I don't know whether they're making a move. That I've talked about, it's been years, but I was on the ice at the Program of Excellence and really liked the way that Dustin Schwartz coached. I liked his thought process. I liked the work he'd done with Skinner to get him to this point. I think a lot of people miss on the fact that not everyone saw him as even an NHL goaltender, and the progress he's made in just his third year pro to where he is at. Every conversation I have with him, I learn something. So, and yet, if you're going to make a move, to me, if you're going to do that, and why not rebuild this thing completely? And I'm not saying get rid of everyone, because obviously they've just made a hire in the American Hockey League. But if you're making changes, why not build up an entire department? Because a lot of what I would point to in terms of what's happened in recent years would be decisions made on who you get, whether that's draft or whether that's in free agency. I screamed it from the rooftops on your show last year, from July through late August, to sign Kevin Lankinen.
Yeah.
There might have been a parade there.
Mm-hmm.
If they'd signed Kevin Lankinen, right? At least if you were able to rest him, and they should have with Skinner, and not overplayed him the way the Canucks did, because in fairness, it fell out pretty bad here in the second half. But if you can get that guy, so there are names. There's one here in Vancouver, who just drafted a goalie, has a 70% draft pick to NHL conversion rate when he's involved in the scouting process. And I'm talking about Ian Clark, who has been demoted and lost his director role and has the title of scout. If you're willing to spend, I think you can come get him. So, to me, if they're making a change, and I am not advocating for it in any way, shape, or form, there are options to completely reevaluate how you do this. And I would suggest, given the year-end comments about not really understanding it and goaltending's unique and different, and, I would suggest that maybe starting with someone who can break through all that language and truly understand it, has a track record of success, whether it's Vezina trophies or draft picks, that would be something you should consider, especially when the only cost is to the bottom line, not cap, like cash. And, I know other teams who have been interested, but haven't been willing to foot the bill that the Canucks are footing to have him even in the demoted role of scout. But someone like that, someone like Sean Burke in Vegas, who I believe loves it there, but I don't think he wants to be a goalie coach. I think he wants to be in management. And in there, he's got dual hats. Make a big enough promise, change the role, make it director, and you might be, I don't know personally, but you might be able to get a guy. I guess at the end of the day, what I'm saying is just swapping out the goalie coach, I don't think that's going to make a huge difference. I think given on what I've seen in acquisition and some of the draft stuff, I point to last year's pick for sure. You might need to rethink how you're doing things top to bottom.
Yeah, no, that's totally valid. I think it's something that that they'll have to consider. But you're kind of hearing the same thing for me, that the Oilers are likely making a change for their goalie coach, correct?
It seems to be the rumblings out there, and it's a tough one for me because I have a personal relationship. Like I said, like every time they come into town and I watch some drills and I ask some questions, I learn, and I like what I hear about the teaching side of things. And I talk about the talent that's been there, the dearth of it. I think for the most part, and I'm not talking about Skinner. I just mean like you look at the list, like Smith, Koskinen. And Smith and Koskinen both actually outplayed
totally
what
agree.
I thought they were coming in, like really gave them good minutes, and the numbers back that up. So, but yes, at the end of the day, that seems to be the rumbling that's out there industry-wide in the goalie coaching community.
Yeah. All right. So outside of those two, and Clark and Burke, who might not be coaches but want to run a whole department, who are the goalie coaches that you would recommend for him?
I mean, I'd be looking in the American Hockey League. There are guys like Alex Westland who's just let go in Detroit, and I don't think that, honestly, I think you can honestly say the way Detroit runs goaltending from the top level, in terms of like Steve Yzerman is not a good, I don't want to say good, but like he's a tough person to work for if you're in the goalie department.
Yeah.
So please just disregard the not good part that just came out wrong, but he's a really tough, and the way their goaltending has gone and some of the decisions they've made. And now I'm hearing they might lose Trey Augustine. Like that shouldn't be an automatic no-go.
They might lose Trey Augustine. What?
Trey Augustine's already going back to school because they've log jammed the depth chart ahead of him to the point where I've heard rumblings that people, whether it's him or people in his camp, could see him. He's already going back to school for a third year.
Yeah.
And if that just means waiting out another summer till August 15th before hitting they have made such a mess of that depth chart that I wouldn't be surprised. And again, much like we talk about the goalie coach, the buzz around the industry is that he might just walk it to free agency if that's an option for him. Again, so that the goalie department, the goalie things haven't really worked out there. And so Alex Westland getting let go is not, to me, an indictment of Alex's ability to teach. He was highly coveted. He was a finalist for the job in New Jersey the year that they hired Dave Rogalski. He worked with Mitch Korn with Hershey for years, and he's a he's a guy that I think should be more coveted than the results in Detroit speak for. I look at a guy just down the highway in Calgary in Mackenzie Skapski and the changes he made tactically and technically in Dustin Wolf's game, because as much as Wolf was a great prospect coming in, if you look at the difference from year one to year two, there were some significant strides made there. And I think he is a sort of up and coming coach. I look at Brian Eklund in New Jersey. Those are some of the names that jump out. We had him recently on the podcast, an older coach, like he's been around a lot longer and just started working in the American Hockey League a couple of years ago, with the St. Louis Blues. But there's another coach that when you look at the track record, Charlie Lindgren spends a year there, gets better. Joel Hofer quickly ready for the National Hockey League, working in conjunction with Dave Alexander. I think Dan Stewart's another name that should probably be on teams' list if they're looking to promote from the American Hockey League.
Kev, interesting stuff. We've talked about the free agent goalies, and, we'll find out tomorrow who's going to go where and what happens. And do the Oilers dip their toe in and bring somebody in? Jake Allen sounds like he might get some big numbers, but Jake Allen's numbers really, I know you dug deep into them. They're not much different than Skinner's over the last 3 years.
Over the last 3 years, last year, listen, Jake was really good last year. 12th in adjusted save percentage, plus 0.9%. That's some pretty elite company among goalies. 12th out of 70 that saw at least 250 chances on the season. But yeah, when you go over the past 3 years combined, hey, someone that was behind a tough Montreal environment and they had 3 goalies and not ideal. But his adjusted save percentage out of the 99 goalies over the last 3 years to see a minimum of that workload, plus 0.2%. Stuart Skinner's plus 0.1. So I do believe there is value as a mentor and experience, and he can still play for sure. And last year was a great result. But, it'll be interesting to see where they come out on what that's worth, where teams come out on what's that worth in a pretty thin free agency class. One name that we didn't even go over, Jason, the last time we talked about all the free agents, we kind of made our list. James Reimer. Reimer was 16th in adjusted save percentage last year. Got a chance to play consecutive games and get on a bit of roll with Buffalo down the stretch. And, ultimately, can you judge based on a stretch run for a team not making the playoffs? Maybe it's a little harder. Maybe other teams aren't taking them seriously. At the end of the day, he was really good down the stretch. His adjusted numbers are not far behind Jake Allen. Those two and Anton Forsberg, the only 3 goalies heading to unrestricted free agency that were above expected last season. When I look at Reimers over the whole of the last 3 years, right around expected, just a little bit below, again, in some tough situations on some not great teams at times there, including Detroit and the way they deal with goaltending. But for a lot less money, he gives you a good veteran presence. And in the last year, some of the best adjusted numbers. Like, interestingly enough, some numbers that are significantly better, both over the last 3 years and last season, than a lot of names that I'm seeing on free agency lists ahead of him. As a matter of fact, some of those, like I said, including us last week, we didn't even include him on it. And so there's a guy that I think it might be foolish to overlook because I think he's a guy that can give you short-term real value.
Kev, great stuff, man. We really appreciate it. Thanks so much for your time. We will we'll chat with you again one final time next Monday. Have a good one.
Thanks.
It's Kevin Woodley from InGoal Magazine and NHL.com. And also coming down during the while we were on, Evan Bouchard contract. We mentioned it earlier in the show, but it's official now. 4 years at $10.5 million. 4-year deal, $10.5 million AAV. Get your thoughts, 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. We'll probably open up the phone lines at 3 o'clock, talk a little bit about Bouchard and more on The Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Noodle, 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 noodle. Noodle, 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 noodle. Noodle, 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 noodle.
Throw a load down to Oodle Noodle tonight because dine-in is open. The Discovery Day sales event is on now at Volvo Cars Edmonton. It's your final month to lease a 2025 XC90 plug-in hybrid from 1.49% and save $5,000. Lease or finance a 2025 XC60 plug-in hybrid from 0.49% and save $4,000. Lease or finance a 2025 XC40 from 0.49% and save up to $2,000. Come and discover the deals now at Volvo Cars Edmonton. Great vehicles, better services. Only at VolvoCarsEdmonton.com.
Mr. Rooter toasts the newlyweds.
A relationship is like a hot water tank. It brings warmth, but only if you start with a spark. Your love is the pilot light, and the burner is your love growing from that tiny spark. And the anti-corrosion anode rod is the sacrifices you make for each other to keep things from getting all gross and crusty. May your love last as long as a Mr. Rooter workmanship guarantee. For life.
For a plumber you'll keep for life, call Mr. Rooter.
You got a go-to coffee spot, a trusted barber, even a lucky game day jersey. But when it's about looking your absolute best, there's only one name you need. Mr. Dirk. Family run since 1939, we're experts in crafting impeccable tailor-made suits and offering a wide variety of everyday styles. Pair that with personalized one-on-one fittings and the convenience of on-site tailoring. Mr. Dirk elevates your style game. Visit our Edmonton store or explore MrDirk.com. Score big on style with Mr. Dirk.
Experience Edmonton Stingers Pro Basketball. Celebrate Canada Day with a game on Tuesday, July 1st at 4 p.m. It's the most affordable, family-friendly, fun sports experience in the city. Tickets start at just $20. thestingers.ca. Excavators, loaders, lifts, compaction equipment, and more. Find the XCMG construction equipment you need. Available for rental or sale at Japa Machinery Group. Japa, helping build Alberta from the ground up for 50 years. Visit japamachinery.com.
When you look at a pipe, you just see a pipe. But at GS Construction, we know it's not just a pipe. It's the future water flowing to a growing family's home or the sewer line for a new school. At GS Construction, we know every trench we dig connects people to what matters. And if you'd like to be part of that vision of making a better future, we're hiring. Right now, GS Construction is looking for experienced foremen to join our team. So apply today at gsconstruction.ca. GS Construction, underground with purpose.
portions of this hour brought to you by Cantork. What's the best way to beat the tariffs? Buy Canadian. Cantork's products are not only made in Canada, but right here in Edmonton. Save money, support Canada at cantork.com.
From puck drop to kickoff, it's the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
It's 1440 Orders Nation, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. Hope you're having a lovely Monday afternoon. Of course, Evan Bouchard has signed 4 years, $10.5 million AAV. Also, Noah Philp signs a contract earlier today, one two-way deal at $775. Kasperi Kapanen 1 year at $1.3 million. Philp and Bouchard both needed qualifying offers. Obviously, they got contracts done. So I know there's some talk about an offer sheet if the Oilers went to 10.5. I'm not sure that an offer sheet was going to be much of a concern for that. So we'll see. People wonder, is there a no movement clause? Probably in the last 2 years of the deal, but it doesn't qualify for one until you're unrestricted free agent age. So the first 2 years will not have one. Just the final 2 years of the deal would be my understanding. So there you go. Now let's talk. Hey, you know what? I love marquee events in sports, and big marquee events coming up in our city tomorrow night as we go in the room. Brought to you by Action Electrical. Take action on your savings. You've been thinking about it. You look, geez, it's sunny where we live all the time. I want to save some money. We'll get solar on your home or your business. ActionElectrical.net. As Steve Hogle from the Edmonton Riverhawks joins us, and Steve, of course, Mondays, every Monday's off in your league, but tomorrow is Canada Day, and that's become a huge event for your team. Sold out. Is this the first time it's been sold out prior to the game starting?
Prior to the start, you're right. Yeah. Hey, Jason, how you doing? But yeah, you're dead on. This is the first time in advance of the game that we've been sold out. We've sold out on game day in the past, but never this far in advance. So people are locking down their tickets early, and a wise call, obviously.
Well, and it's become really the marquee event. So we know you have fireworks. What else is on tap for the fans tomorrow?
Well, it's you got live music everywhere. We've got Oil City Sound Machine on our stage on the Alley Cat Party Pen. We've got James Loosemore, a DJ, on the concourse. Brass Tactics rolls in. Northern Empire's right behind them. Northern Empire's out front, a drum line, and an indigenous drum circle out front as well. So yeah, all sorts of moving parts for sure.
So it's obviously become big, but just overall, you know, your crowds continue to grow, and you're looking at grow. What's kind of the feedback on what the baseball fans in this community like, and how you're appealing to them on a kind of bi-weekly basis with homestands every 2 weeks?
Yeah, and our MO has been to obviously engage baseball fans, but to go beyond that and engage people on the periphery. And to do that, we introduced all sorts of wacky theme games and kooky in-game contests. We don't have baseball announcers on the microphones. We've got improv comics. So just a real entertainment package with some dynamite baseball mixed in the middle.
Looking at your team, you come in and you've got the Port Angels lefties as the opponent, and they're suddenly red hot, winners of 5 in a row. You guys are kind of going through your toughest stretch of the season here, so an opportunity to get back on track. What's kind of gone wrong lately for the squad?
Well, it's interesting. Our pitching needs to just come in a little bit hotter than what it has been. But this league is unpredictable. Like you know, we go up against the top team in the league and we knock them off 3, and then we lose 3 in a row to a cellar dweller. And so you don't know exactly what you're going to get with these young men each game out. But with Port Angeles, should be a great series, and then we'll follow that up with Nanaimo on Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
What else is coming up on the homestand? Obviously, Canada Day sold out for any fans who want to go. Don't go because it's sold out. But for the rest of the week, kind of what do you have lined up for fans coming in? Any other unique promotions on tap this week?
Yeah, we come back on Wednesday with Short Kings, Tall Queens.
Oh, I think we might have lost Steve there. Did he just Short King? Basically, short guys, tall girls. That's pretty funny though. Hogle, did his phone just fall off there? That was pretty funny. I was wondering, he's walking around the concourse and just die? So we'll see. We'll try to get him back, but didn't sound good. Might have ran into a wall. So that is the Short Kings, Tall Queens. That's pretty funny. So it's kind of like a dating night. Short guys get in, tall girls get in at a big reduced rate. That's awesome. So we'll see. But Canada, man, that's fantastic. I know a few of you have texted in already. Greg, I got my tickets. I can say, honestly, my kids, it's one of the best events of the year, the Canada Day. Celebrate our awesome country and take in a little bit of baseball from Steve. I would agree wholeheartedly. So it has been, you become an event where people, they buy their tickets early. I know that stadium was about 85% sold out right when they put their season tickets out. People want to be there on Canada Day. It's become a big event. They got a few other ones. Saturday, Sundays, they're getting 8,000 fans throughout coming up in the summer on some of these nights. It's awesome, right? The August long weekend's a pretty big draw as well. So I really like how the schedule goes with every second week. So that's pretty cool. Now, we got a lot of texts coming in, not surprisingly, on Evan Bouchard, 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. Guys, am I the only one thinking Bouchard should have been an 8-year deal? I thought shorter term would save some cap space for a few years from Dirk. Well, Dirk, really on a longer term deal, it would have been more. That's just kind of, there's people thought he maybe could get up to 11.5 on a longer term deal. So they elected for 4, which is, hey, it's still a lot. So that's the reality of free agency and RFA. Bouchard has had, 2 unbelievable playoffs. And you look at overall his numbers. I know, like I said, his defensive game isn't as bad as the big mistake shows. If you look at his overall game, it's pretty good. So, hey, guys, it's what I expected on AAV. I wish it would have been a few more years. Don't mind it at all. Hey, guys, $20 million for 2D, and neither are stable, safe, reliable number ones for Mitchell. I think Bouchard's a lot better. Look at Bouchard playoff game. After game 1 of LA, do you have an issue with it? Where was the issue against Dallas? Where was the issue against Vegas? Where was the issue in the 4 wins against LA? I didn't see it. And did I see any real big errors against Florida? Like game 6, I'm sorry. When Ekholm throws him that grenade, I'm not blaming Bouchard. I'm sorry. I'm just not. Right? The puck's bouncing all over. And then Ekholm, not only does he throw him a grenade, then he gets walked afterwards. So I think Bouchard is probably better than some people think. And if you watch all the games as closely as you watch the orders, you would see other top defensemen make a mistake here or there. It's just going to happen. But Bouchard makes more good plays than bad plays. I can tell you that. The numbers back it up at all. So, hey, Greg's, what about Cam Talbot? Is he a goalie you would look at? Well, he's under contract for 1 more year, if my memory is correct in Detroit. So, I'm pretty sure Talbot has. Yeah, he's got 1 year left. Basically, he's going to be the backup in Detroit behind John Gibson. So, Talbot's 37, 2.5 mil. I don't see Edmonton going after him, but Alex Lyon, I think, could make some sense to him. Hey, Gregor, Steve's a short guy. Must have lost the service with all the tall girls blocking it. Very true, Steve. Very true, Steve from Drumheller. It's true about Hogs. He must have came up with that one himself. I like it. Hey, Gregor, with many of the playoff teams mostly capped out and teams like Ottawa, Anaheim, San Jose hoping to keep spending down, is there really that much money out there, JDO? Well, San Jose's got to get to the floor. Trust me, they're going to spend. I have no doubt in my mind that San Jose is going to be spending, but there is money out there. Right, you look at the at teams that because there's not many. So let's go through it. Vegas. Now we're hearing Alex Pietrangelo is probably done for the season, so his $8.8 million goes right to LTIR. So that frees up the money, and now Vegas is going to have money, and they're probably going to go after Marner. Right? You look at Pittsburgh has 19 guys signed. They got 21 million in cap space. Buffalo has 21 million in cap space. Detroit 22, but they've only got 16 guys signed. You know, Winnipeg has $22 million in cap space, and they've got 20 skaters signed. So that's a boatload of money for them. Now, Nick Ehlers and Appleton are two of the guys that they were hoping to re-sign, but both of them might be leaving as free agents. The LA Kings got loads of money. Like, loads of money. Now, Gavrikoff's one of those guys, but if they don't sign Gavrikov, they got like $25 million. So no, there's money out there. Make no mistake. Now, there's some teams, obviously, who don't have a lot of money right now, Edmonton being one of them, right? With the Bouchard signing at 10.5 mil. The Oilers with Arvidsson on the books have about 3.7 mil in cap space. Now, that could be a little bit more if you don't think Jones is going to be on the team. Okay, fine. But that's kind of where they're at. So if you sign a big winger, you know, you move Arvidsson, you know what, maybe they move someone else. They've got Kapanen in. The Oilers currently have, 19 guys signed. So they need some forwards is really what they're in search of, because they have, they have their 7 defensemen signed right now. Then you got Regula in the minors. You got some other guys. So I just don't see them going after any defenseman. Hey, Greg, if Pietrangelo comes back for the playoffs, Vegas should get investigated. Well, the early reports are they think the surgery will require him to miss at least the regular season, if not more. So, but yeah, you can be investigated, but if the guy sits out the whole year and he's having surgery in July, like what's the thing? And unless they assume that, well, no, he could have been back in March and they just held him out an extra month. Right? Like, just because guys get skating doesn't mean they're ready to play. So we'll see. Hey, Greg, I don't know why people want 8 years. Look at Nurse's deal. Bouchard at 4 is good. Overpay for Kapanen, Frederic, and now Bouchard taking full value. Tough to see when Ekblad took 6.1 from Dave. Yeah, well, here's the thing. Like, Ekblad at 6.1, is that really like a bargain deal? Honestly, like, I know, like, some people saying $9 million on free agency. What? 9? Who would? Now, maybe someone would, but that doesn't mean it's a good, like, when I say, fair market value, that's not fair. That's lunacy market value. There's two different things here. That's lunacy market value. If you think you're going to pay Ekblad plays on a lot of other teams with a different system, he's getting exposed. I'm telling you that right now. And it's 8 years. Now, Florida's not going to care for a bit, but I'm telling you, Bennett, Ekblad, the last half of those deals, people are going to be, they're not really living up to it. I'm just telling you right now. Now, I know in Edmonton, they're like, well, hey, we want to win next year. I get it. Right? That's when you win, everybody thinks that Bennett's like a great deal at 8 mil. Like, if the Oilers would have won and Bouchard signs at 10.5, people are like, man, I don't care. He's 10.5 because you won. And you're rewired to think it's okay. And that's fine. I understand it, but I don't I really don't think Sam Bennett $8 million is a great value contract. I prorated it from Kadri 3 years ago till this one at 8.1 would basically be a similar contract. And Kadri scored 87 points. He scored 60 points multiple times. Sam Bennett scored 50 points once. Now, I know he has good playoff numbers. I get it, but you still got to make the playoffs. And then he scored. But he scores 15 goals this year in the playoffs. Crosby and Ovechkin, generational guys. They did it once each. Once. And they made the playoffs quite a bit. It is Bennett, good for him. He got it right at the right time. But I really don't view him as getting any real savings for the Florida Panthers. I just don't. Let's get to Declan Kruger and a Sports 1440 update brought to you by Fountain Tire. Make your first stop at Fountain Tire. From tire checks, oil changes, alignments, and brake inspections. Make sure your vehicle's ready for every mile ahead at fountaintire.com.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
And for your Sports 1440 update, Edmonton Oilers news is the team has re-signed Evan Bouchard to a 4-year, $10.5 million AAV deal. Kasperi Kapanen and Noah Philp also signed today. Kapanen a 1-year, $1.3 million deal, while Philp has signed a 2-way deal at $775. Other news around the NHL, the Florida Panthers and defenseman Aaron Ekblad have reached an 8-year, $48.8 million contract extension to keep him in the Sunshine State. Islanders have signed defenseman Alex Romanov to an 8-year, $50 million contract extension with an AAV of $6.25 million. Ville Husso has signed a 2-year deal worth $2.2 million with the Anaheim Ducks, and the Toronto Maple Leafs have acquired Matias Maccelli from the Utah Mammoth in exchange for a conditional third-round selection in 2027. MLB action around the league today will get going at 4:35 with the Padres and Phillies. Yankees and Blue Jays in action at 5:07 out in Toronto. Max Scherzer on the mound for the Jays in that one. And the Stingers back in action tomorrow at 4 p.m. for a Canada Day special. They'll play host to the Montreal Alliance. Edmonton Riverhawks also in action 7:05 p.m. down at Remax Field versus Port Angeles. I'm Declan Kruger. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440, a Stingray radio station broadcasting on Treaty 6 territory.
Download the free iHeartRadio app and listen to CKJR wherever you go.
The sun is shining, the weather's warm, and some of Edmonton's favorite sports are back in season. If you're looking for the cherry on top of a perfect summer day, check out Play Alberta to experience casino, sports, and lottery all in one app. Download the Play Alberta app today and deposit $20 or more with promo code OIL to claim a $100 casino bonus. That's promo code OIL for a $100 casino bonus on us. Gameable once per Play Alberta account. Remember, if you gamble, please use your game sense.
Wow, get ready for a silly hockey fans. Your partner in power just skated onto the ice.
EWEL.ca, the new e-commerce website for electrical wholesalers Edmonton, is ready for the power play 24/7, 365.
UL skates to where the puck will be in 5 years. Now that's forward thinking.
Killer selection, slamming products from the best brands, and legendary service.
Don't sit on the bench. Get your account today at EWEL.ca and win that project.
Plug into your partner in power. Get an EWEL.ca account today.
Break out the maple syrup and denim as your Edmonton Riverhawks host an epic Canada Day party tomorrow night, featuring fun festivities and the best seats to watch the city's fireworks show. Get your tickets today to watch the Hawks play at gohawks.ca.
At Leading Edge Physiotherapy, we believe that life shouldn't hurt. Now, that doesn't mean that we don't know that sometimes it really hurts. I mean, we've seen people at their worst moments in life, when they feel they have nowhere to turn, or at a time when they felt like their problem just wouldn't ever go away. We've also seen people who thought to themselves, it'll just go away on its own, or this is no big deal. I don't want to bother anyone about this. Don't know where to turn to, or think it's no big deal. Either way, we have the technology, techniques, and skills to help you get back to it, whatever your it may be. Life shouldn't hurt. LeadingEdgePhysio.com.
Whether you're a craft beer connoisseur or more of a wine aficionado, there's always something new to discover at Sherbrooke Liquor, a unique, family-owned, independent liquor store. The selection? Incredible. The non-alcohol section is also very impressive. Sherbrooke Liquor, expert, knowledgeable staff with a passion for unique finds. More than just a liquor store, we're a community. Alberta's best, the one and only Sherbrooke Liquor. Wine, spirits, and oodles of beer. Visit SherbrookeLiquor.com.
The summer drive event is on now at Buick. Right now, get 0% financing for up to 60 months on the 2025 Buick Envision. Make your presence known with available 20-inch alloy wheels with pearl nickel finish. Showcase your style with available quilted perforated front leather-appointed seats. And radiate confidence on any drive with Buick's suite of standard safety features. Get behind the wheel of your Buick Envision today. Ask your Buick dealer for details.
What's your vision for your community? At Vision Credit Union, ours is a thriving rural Alberta where kids have team jerseys, firefighters have the gear they need, and community kitchen fridges stay full. It's why we give back millions every year through grants, donations, sponsorships, and profit shares. Because when your community succeeds, we all do. Bank somewhere with Vision. Vision Credit Union. We see banking differently. Learn more at visioncu.ca.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Japa Machinery. Japa is digging deep on their 50-year history of supporting Alberta's construction industry with their line of special edition blackout excavators. Visit japamachinery.com for all the details.
Sports Radio is back. The Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
So welcome back, Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Declan Kruger with you on Sports 1440, Orders Nation, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. Hope you are having a lovely, lovely Monday afternoon. So the big news, if you're just joining us, the Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca. Evan Bouchard. We'll get your thoughts. 833-401-1440. 833-401-1440 is 4 years at $10.5 million. So 4 years, $10.5 million. So pretty big deal. And now we'll see where the orders go from here. What kind of maneuvering can they do in the free agent market? We will find out. They don't have a ton of cap space, so they're going to have to wheel and deal some guys around. Cap wages and puck Petey are quite different, so I got to see which one's right and which one's wrong at this point. Because cap wages says they've got 3.5, puck Petey says they have 3, so maybe cap wages hasn't updated one of the contracts. It's got Kapanen, Thomas Eck, Jones, Podkolzin, Savoy. So, see what's one missing and what aren't they missing. We'll find out. They didn't have $3 million in bonus overages, so it's definitely not that. So I'll have to look, but curious. Hey, Gregor, Bouchard's an 82-point defenseman once, first guy in NHL history to have back-to-back 23-point playoffs, plays every situation. That's what he's worth. Oiler fans just have to accept it. Anybody comparing him to Aaron Ekblad doesn't watch Aaron Ekblad. Well, hopefully no one's comparing him to Aaron Ekblad, are they? Like, they're completely two completely different players. Aaron Ekblad is more of a defensive-minded guy. He can chip in with some offense here and there, but he's not nearly as offensive as Evan Bouchard. There's no doubt in my mind. So we'll see. Hey, Greg's only buying 2 years of UFA status at that price. If it was 7 or 8 at 10 point, I'd get it. But for 4 years, why isn't it under 10? Fair point, right? It's fair point. I do think that Bouchard's numbers gave him an incredibly strong arbitration case. And that's really what you were kind of negotiating against. So we'll see. Now, this just coming down that Mitch Marner, we talked about this. Where do we think he would go? Mitch Marner has signed 8 years, $12 million deal with Vegas. So 8 years, 12. Well, he signs it with Toronto. I should clarify that. He signs it with Toronto and then gets traded to Vegas. So the Pacific Division probably just got a little bit tougher, don't you think? But I'm a little surprised that he went 8, but good for him. 8-year deal for Marner. Now, Nick Roy, I think is going to be part of that deal. I haven't seen it official anywhere, but there was some talk about that. But we'll see and kind of go from there. But Marner is in. You have Bouchard and Edmonton. So the Pacific Division today definitely got a little bit better. Hey, Greg's, are you able to trade retained salary or dead cap space from a buyout? No, you are not. The orders, of course, have the Jack Campbell buyout on the books for what has he got? Another 4 years? I think maybe 5. I gotta double check how many terms it is left for Jack Campbell, but it is 5 years. And this is the next 2 years are still high. I got to double check, but I think it's 2.3 this year and then 2.6 next year. And then it drops to like 1.5 for the final 3 years. So not ideal. Right. So the Oilers in theory have about just over $2.5 million in dead cap space this year because of Campbell and bonus overages. So not good, right? Not good at all. When everybody's spending to the cap, $2.5 million, man, that is a big amount. It's a big amount. So, hey, Gregor, how can Vegas afford Marner? Well, Alex Pietrangelo is going to be on LTIR all season long. He's got multiple surgeries that he requires, and there's some reports out there that he might not be back at all next season, like maybe including the playoffs. So we'll see. And hey, we saw Landeskog, we've seen Taves. Like those guys took 2 years. Now I got to see what the extent of Pietrangelo's, like what's the surgery that he has? Is it like ACL can, like a proper rehab on ACL can be at least 12 months, sometimes longer. So Pietrangelo, you got to remember, he's 35 years of age. He's getting older. And we saw it. He's like this past season, he played okay, but he slowed down. And that's how they afford it. And I think that because it's a sign and trade, there was the reports that Nicholas Waugh was going to be involved. Also, this just coming in that Brad Marchand is also staying in Florida on a 6 years for Brad Marchand at so that, if doing the math, I think he's going to be like a 5-point-something AAV for 6 years. Brad Marchand is, 37? Now, he fit in perfectly on their third line. Perfectly on their third line. But wow, 6-year deal. So 37, they're 8, they're 9, 40. The last year of his deal is 42. Good for him, but ooh, mama, that's a little surprising. Yeah, sure, the AAV's down a little bit, but ooh, mama, they did it. So the Panthers kept all their guys, and we'll see if it's the right decision. Right? That's what the great thing is. I'll say it right now. I don't love any of those contracts by Florida, if I'm being honest. I don't hate any of them, but I necessarily don't love it. Right? I think there's a lot of people that, hey, they just won the cup and everything's great. To me, this reminds me of the Chicago Blackhawks. And I understand why you do it. There's an intense loyalty in an organization when you win. There just is. And so you want to keep the guys that you have. But Marchand, 37 years, 6 years? Wow. Now, I'm not even sure you can buy out a contract when you're, maybe you can, but I have to see, because over 35, like I know you can get some bonuses, but wow, that is massive. Massive. So, ooh. Some big names off the free agent board: Marner, Ekblad, Marchand, Bennett, gone. The other one today that was kind of interesting to me was the Tarasenko deal. He basically got traded to Detroit for nothing, right? That's what future considerations are. They're nothing. It's a polite way. You can't just say nothing, so you put in that it's future considerations, but there's nothing. So now I do like this text. Hey, Greggs, what do you think about Patrick Kane? Any interest for him? Who, I talked to some people in Detroit about Patrick Kane, and some are like, well, I'm not sure how much he has left 5-on-5. I'm like, okay. He's still a pretty dynamic player. And they're like, well, he's not a shooter anymore. I'm like, yeah, but Draisaitl's the rare shooting centerman. On a 1-year deal for Patrick Kane, would I have interest? Yes. But I wouldn't be giving him I wouldn't pay him like a 60-point player. That's where the challenge is going to come in. Now, he's already won. So, he's an Eastern guy. I think a lot of older players prefer the Eastern time zone. I totally understand it. So I think it would probably be a little bit of pie in the sky thinking, but I've always liked Patrick Kane, and his offensive instincts, I think, would be now, if I got Kane on a line though with Draisaitl, the other forward's got to be a relentless forechecker, because Patrick Kane's not a huge forechecker, right? So we'll see. So it's coming in now that 32 mil for Marchand. So what's that? 5 point over 6 years. So, jeez, 5.4 and a bit. Oh, yowza! Wow, that's for 6 years. Guy's 37. People are going to tell you that's a value contract somehow. Well, the AAV's low. He's 37. I don't know, man. People are going to love it. Also, the LA Kings, Andrei Kuzmenko stays in LA at $4.3 million to stay there. I think the other one is Provorov in Columbus. There's lots of word. I saw a Ports line earlier saying that he thinks he's going to re-sign. So we'll see if that comes down the pipe later on today. But yeah, not a lot of big names left in free agency, which means, like, man, Brock Besser, all these, like, who are they going to go after? Man, Gavrikov, he's going to get a massive overpay. Massive. Good for him. But I think it's going to be massive. Massive. Hey, Gregor, Marchand's term is interesting. Implies he'd play to 43. Does that not end up as dead cap space if he retires since it's a 35-year-old contract, or how does that work? Oh, no. If he retired, then you can't retire if you sign a Bowden Laney's contract, but anybody after the age of 35, if they retire, it counts on the books. So you can't do it. Now, could he go on LTIR with a injury? Yes, that could happen. But you're not getting out of that. You're not getting out of that. So just not happen. Hey, Gregs, I'm curious to see Marner against the Oilers head to head. I've never been a huge Marner fan, and I'm a Leafs fan. I think people in Toronto at times were too hard on him, but at the same time, I don't think he ever showed up. I think that's a win. If you're an Oiler fan, he just adds softness to Vegas. Well, you could be right, Tom, but he also adds some skill to a Vegas team. I don't debate that Mitch Marner has skill. And I've always said this. I don't think Toronto had the right mix of 4 players. They had 4 skilled players. None of them was like just a killer. And I think Marner will go to Vegas. You got Mark Stone. You've got Eichel. You got some other guys to be like, hey, this is how we play here. And his skill will help them, because I don't think they had a boatload of high-end skill in their top. Like Mark Stone's slowing down, right? He's got will. He doesn't necessarily have the skill that he used to have, for sure. 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. Take a quick break. We'll come back. We've got a lot of texts. We'll get some open line time. 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. NBA free agency. We'll talk with that. Declan Cougar and more when we return to the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Your hard hat and huddle up. Your Edmonton Elks take on the Ottawa Redblacks this Sunday at 5. It's the first ever hard hat huddle game, presented by Purolator Tackle Hunger, featuring excavators and diggers in the tailgate and construction-themed in-game contests. Tickets start at just $20. Score yours now at goelks.com.
Day or night, tasting just so right. You can order Oodle Noodle at oodlenoodle.ca, delivering you the news almost right away. Remember, you can order Oodle Noodle at oodlenoodle.ca. So stay on your couch all day and order oodlenoodle.ca. Oodle Noodle.
Some jobs are easy, and some jobs are not. When the going gets tough and the job is tough, GS Construction hires good people to get the job done right. So, if you know it takes teamwork, grit, and the utmost care to work underground, you just might be who we're looking for. Right now, GS Construction is hiring experienced foremen to join our crew. Apply today at gsconstruction.ca. And remember, from the first manhole to the final tie-in, we've got your back. GS Construction. Tough jobs, good people.
Scott McGilvery here, HGTV host and renovation expert. The one upgrade I know homeowners will love: better, fresher Culligan water straight from the tap. Culligan's Aquasential reverse osmosis filtration system takes your water to the next level. With up to 7 stages of filtration and 14 filter options, they're certified to reduce over 90 contaminants. Your tap water is about to get a major upgrade: safer water that tastes great. Get started with a free in-home water test at Culligan.com. Culligan, water you love.
The job isn't done until the last load is hauled, and having a semi-trailer out of commission is not an option. Whether replacing or adding to your convoy, Edmonton Trailer has a huge inventory of new and used semi-trailers, trusted by the gravel, logging, oil field, fluids, and freight industries. Find a trailer right for you online or at one of their 3 locations. For sales, service, parts, rental, and finance, when you're in it for the long haul, Edmonton Trailer.
The Discovery Day sales event is on now at Volvo Cars Edmonton. It's your final month to lease a 2025 XC90 plug-in hybrid from 1.49% and save $5,000. Lease or finance a 2025 XC60 plug-in hybrid from 0.49% and save $4,000. Lease or finance a 2025 XC40 from 0.49% and save up to $2,000. Come and discover the deals now at Volvo Cars Edmonton. Great vehicles, better services. Only at VolvoCarsEdmonton.com.
Legacy Heating and Cooling is your #1 air conditioning company. So when you can't take living in oppressive heat any longer, call Legacy. Call Legacy. If your hot, sticky sheets keep you up all night, call Legacy. Call Legacy. If you've decided that you deserve to be cool and comfortable, call Legacy. Call Legacy. And with no payments, no interest for 1 year, it could only be Legacy Heating and Cooling.
Take your skating to the next level with Aligned Custom Skate Performance Sherwood Park. Their expert alignment process ensures the perfect fit for that much-needed edge on the ice. Suddenly, your skates feel like an extension of yourself. Whether it's blade alignment, pressure points in your boot, or a fresh sharpening, Aligned Custom Skate Performance has you covered. Book an appointment, experience the difference, and discover why they're trusted by hockey pros and podium champions. Aligned Custom Skate Performance, where precision meets passion. AlignedSkate.com.
Baby, now we got bad blood. You know it used to be mad love. So take a look what you.
Locally owned and operated by the Kent family and celebrating 45 years. See all our rides at hdedmonton.com.
Look good, feel good, play good. It's the Jason Gregor Show. Thanks for listening to Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
.324. Welcome back. Sports 1440. Man, everything has happened. It's like it's free agency day today. If you're just joining us, there's lots to discuss in the sporting world. So yeah, we talked about it. Provorov is staying in Columbus, 7-year deal at $8.5 million. We have Evan Bouchard in Edmonton at 4 years at $10.5 million. You have Andrei Kuzmenko, 1 year at $4.3 million. Mitch Marner signs an 8-year deal. It was a sign and trade, 8-year deal worth $12 million per season for him. Ekblad got an 8-year extension at 6.1. Brad Marchand got a 6-year deal at close to $5.4 million. 6 years. I'm trying to think a player to have the last year of his contract start when he's 43. That's wild to me. Wild. Actually, I guess it would start at 42. So when he starts, I wonder now. I know with Chris Chelios, would he be the last one? Nick Lidstrom, was he 42? I don't know, man. But that's a long-term deal, man. Long-term deal. So we'll probably try to get somebody from Vegas because that's obviously pretty big. So, hey, guys, only 4 years for Bouchard should be a crime from Brendan. Guys, have to say I'm disappointed that the Oilers only signed Bouchard for 4 seasons. Why do you think that is? Well, I think if they go longer, it's a higher cap hit, and they're trying to manage their cap for the next 4 years, and then kind of figure out some other stuff. I firmly believe. Now, here's a text. Hey, Gregor, you've been one who's usually pretty sane on trades. What do you think the chances are the Oilers look at a Darnell Nurse trade? Oh, I think they would consider it. There's no question, right? So he's coming. Darnell Nurse has 5 years left on his contract. And he's got 2 more years where he's got a full no movement clause. Then he gets into a modified no movement clause in the last 3 years of his deal. So it just becomes a little bit easier to move him. And now you could probably trade Darnell Nurse at some point. He does play 20 minutes a night. So if you trade him, you got to find someone else who can play 20 minutes a night. So there's that. It's not just like you get rid of Darnell Nurse. He's got no value. I don't agree with that. If you think he's like if Darnell Nurse made $7 million, we probably wouldn't be having the discussion. But he doesn't. So I get it. People, you look for things and it's valid, right? Like the Oilers next season, they'll have 4 players who make up 48% of their salary cap. Their top 6 will make up 59%. But keep in mind, Florida won the cup this year. Their top 6 was 59.8%. Their top 4 was 44. So their top 4, not as high as Edmonton, but the top 6 in Florida was 59%. Top 6 in Edmonton next year was actually 59.8 in Florida. It'll be 59% in Edmonton. So you can do it, but you need other guys. Like, keep in mind, Bennett wasn't one of those 8, and neither was Marchand. Those guys played unreal. Lundell, great. Luostarinen, great. So that's what you're going to need, right? Like the Oilers are going to need Thomas X, Savoy, somebody to play really well, right? Jake Wallman on the back end. That's what you're going to need. So we'll kind of see where it goes in regards to the overall contract, but it's going to be fascinating to see here in the next few days what happens with free agency, the Oilers. Hey, Gregor, you mentioned Brock Besser. How realistic is it? Well, because the Oilers don't have enough cap space. Well, in theory, they do because you can go over the cap in the summertime by 10%, which means that you could go over it by $9.5 million. So you can be up at basically $105 million because it's 95.5, right? So you could do that. It's not ideal because then then you got to find ways to reduce it. Every team knows you're doing it, so it's hard. So in an ideal world, the Oilers, I think, would like to move Arvidsson first. Maybe they're going to try to move Henrique. We'll see. I wouldn't rule out them looking at moving Darnell Nurse because hey, you can make it a little bit more challenging for a player if you want, and we'll see. Hey, Greg's Gulletson got the head coaching job. Who are some assistants to look at? Good question. Really good question, Steve. So, yes, Glenn Gulletson, it's not been made official, but he's got the job as the head coach of the Dallas Stars. So that's one assistant coach they'll be looking for. I think there's a really good chance Mark Stewart won't be back. Right? Chris Knobloch inherited some of these guys. And when it comes down to Gulletson, I think one of the assistant coaches that he hires preferably will be somebody who is a former NHL head coach. I just think it's important to have somebody on your staff. Lots of the other teams who win, they have a guy, they got a head coach, and their assistant coach or associate coach used to be a head coach. You just have more experience, right? Like you kind of know how he feels to be in that seat, in that role to answer. Now, you know who hired him when Chris Knobloch was an assistant coach in Philly? Dave Haxtell was the head coach. Dave Haxtell, no longer the head coach in Seattle. Would he be an option as an assistant coach? I think that's very valid. Goalie coach, I mentioned it last week. I'd heard some rumblings. I think they might make a change, and those rumblings are getting a little bit louder. The contracts for the coaches officially ended today, and I think there'll be one there. So they could have upwards of 3 new assistant coaches for the Edmonton Oilers. Last I heard, there's now nothing's 100%, but Paul Coffey wanted to come back, so I think there's a pretty good chance he will. But I couldn't. That's the one that I don't have I don't have 100% that he's coming back, and I definitely haven't heard that he isn't coming back. But I just can't say for certain that he's coming back. So I don't want I never like to judge and guess on something like that. So we'll see where it goes. But so you could even have more. It's kind of how it goes. So, hey, guys, a fairest deal for Bouchard is the one he got. I thought 10.2, but that's peanuts. He's young, increasing cap. He'll have to prove himself, and I think he's there. Next contract probably gets even more from Nails. Yeah, very possible. Right? Bouchard's, he's entering kind of those prime years, and prime years in the NHL are now longer than they were before. Hey, Gregor, Bouchard, Nurse, McDavid, Draisaitl, we're not going to win anything building a roster this way. It's been proven over. It doesn't work in the NHL. This few guys taking up what is about half the salary cap. HVAC. Nick. Well, Nick, I just outlined it, right? Florida last year, their top 4 guys were 44 million, 44% of the cap. Their top 6 were 59%. Edmonton. Now you need Nurse to play better. Valid. Sure, Nurse didn't play horrible, but yeah. Now, Carter Verhaeghe didn't play great. He didn't play bad for Florida, but he was one of their top 6 guys. He wasn't killing it in the playoffs. Like, guys who killed it for them were, and guys like, well, Verhaeghe was still pretty good in the playoffs, I think, actually. Now I look up his numbers. So, yeah, he was pretty good. But Bennett, Marchand, like that's really what helped. And honestly, I've said Florida won last year with one of the greatest offensive performances we've ever seen. You got to go back to the Islanders and the Oilers of the 80s to have that many guys scoring 20 points in the playoffs, right? Like, it just doesn't happen. Marchand, Barkov, Bennett, Reinhart, Kachuk, Verhaeghe. It's unreal. And then you had Lusteran and Lundell with 19 and 18. Like, it was amazing. But is that going to happen again? Like, it seemed like the perfect storm for the Panthers. Now, the way they play, they all seem bought in. They'll come back. But is everybody going to be? And the other thing is, you can't overlook it. They benefited significantly from having better players due to no salary cap in the playoffs. And my understanding is the new CBA is not going to kick in for this coming playoffs. So that'll kind of be the last time that teams can, in theory, have guys who are on LTIR for extended period of time and then just add them to the postseason. Right now, Edmonton, had Hyman been healthy, they would have been in a similar situation, but he wasn't. And so that's just luck or unluck, depends on which side of it. So, hey, Gregs, do you know any other team that has 2 defensemen making over $9.5 million? Well, the Oilers don't have 2. They have 2 over 9.25. Rick, but your point, is there a team that has 2 defensemen over $9 million? I don't think so. Buffalo might be the closest with 11.5 from Rasmus, not from Rasmus Dahlin, and then Owen Power. So those 2 combined are what? 11.35. And Nurse and Bouchard. So it's 19.35 for those 2. And Edmonton's are 19.75. So yeah, I think for 2 defensemen, yes, no team has more. It's not ideal. No one can debate that. It's not ideal. So what do you do? Like, you couldn't not sign Bouchard because of Nurse. You just couldn't do it. So you had to sign Bouchard. So that's why I wouldn't completely rule out the potential of a Nurse trade. Doesn't mean it'll happen, but I think it's something that would do it. Hey, Gregor, a bench with Knobloch and Hackstall would be hilarious considering how much they look alike. Bus. They look alike? Jeez, I have to look at that one. I'm like the worst when it comes to, thinking of if people look alike or not. Like, obviously the Preacher in Sherwood Park, I saw the pictures. I get that one. It's pretty funny. But so. Hey, Gregor, so Kane's gone, Arvidsson maybe, Henrique, Brown. When does filling in those spaces begin with no money? Thanks, from Darcy. Well, Darcy, I guess they look and say Kapanen's one guy, but he was already here, so valid point. Tomasek, Matt Savoy would be the 2 guys who are going to get a chance for the Edmonton Oilers next year. Right? They're already signed. Matt Savoy is in on his entry-level deal. He's $866 million. Then you've got David Tomasek. He's at 1.2. So the two of them combined are just over $2 million. Now, they could look around. I guess, Max Jones. I don't know what Max Jones has, if I'm being bluntly honest. I don't know. You see potential in him. He skates, he's big, and then he kind of tails off. Now, maybe sitting in and around the whole playoff run, that guy's going to go home and be like, okay, I figure, you know what? I've got the tools. I'm just going to bring him to work every day. I'm not just going to bring the toolbox. I'm going to bring the tools. And if he does, then maybe. So, hey, Gregor, I thought Nurse was actually pretty decent in the playoffs. I didn't have a problem with Darnell Nurse. Like, he misses a few passes, I know, and people get upset about the icing calls. And it's, you know what? At times, Nurse comes around the net, and if the one guy isn't open, at times he doesn't seem to compute quickly. Okay, I got to make another play. But I didn't think Nurse was that poor for the most part. The first few games against LA, obviously those numbers weren't good, and that's totally valid. But at the same point, I'd still like a little bit better. No question. Like a little bit better. Hey, Gregor, I feel Vegas will take advantage of LTR. Pietrangelo out for the year, comes back for the playoffs. I think Vegas is $10 million over the cap. Well, Marner's 12, Pietrangelo's 8.8, and I think Nick Roy was part of that deal. I haven't seen 100% confirmation yet, but that was the report earlier. And so if that's the case, then they're not, because if it's a sign and trade, I don't think at this point, like Vegas probably wants to give something back because it takes it off their books, right? So Nicholas Roy, if he comes off, he's $3 million. Pietrangelo was 8.8. That's 11.8. Marner comes on. It's only a $200,000 difference, right? Like, it's virtually not much at all for them. But they get a guy who's healthy. Then they put him being Pietrangelo on LTIR. So they got Shea Theodore, Noah Hannafin, Braden McNabb, Zach Whitecloud, Jeremy Lazon, Caden Korzak, Ben Hutton. They still got 7 defensemen. Right? And then you look up front. They would have, how many forwards would Vegas have? Eichel, Stone, quickly look it up. Hurdle, Carlson, Barbashev, Marner, Kolazar, Howden, Riley, Brandon Saad, Pavel Doroviev, Colton Sisson. So they'd have their roster, right? They would have the roster. If they get Mitch Marner in and they trade out Roy, they have the roster pretty much set. So, and they're cap compliant once they put Pietrangelo on LTIR. So, hey, Greg, aren't they talking about the playoff LTR for this season, James? Well, James, you know what? That's what I thought originally. I even thought they were going to do it for the draft, but I was told that now nothing's been officially signed yet. So it doesn't kick in until September 15th. Well, the following year. But once the MOU gets approved, it would have to be agreed upon by everybody that they would do it for this coming season. My understanding is the draft that just unfolded on the weekend is not part of that. So CHL players, still 2 years. Now, will they do it for next year's draft? Maybe. But sounds like nothing's coming in until the new one. So that would mean then that the playoff LTR loophole would still be open this coming season, which is, well, I guess it's good for the teams if you can use it. Quick break. We'll come back, and we're either going to go to Vegas or Toronto. We'll talk about the big deal on the Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
The sun is shining, the weather's warm, and some of Edmonton's favorite sports are back in season. If you're looking for the cherry on top of a perfect summer day, check out Play Alberta to experience casino, sports, and lottery all in one app. Download the Play Alberta app today and deposit $20 or more with promo code OIL to claim a $100 casino bonus. That's promo code OIL for a $100 casino bonus on us. Gameable once per Play Alberta account. Remember, if you gamble, please use your game sense.
New crust alert at Papa John's. Your favorite cheese meets your favorite pizza in the new cheddar crust pizza for only $17.99. Papa John's pizza makers created the perfect addition to their crust by melting garlic and herb seasoned cheddar cheese right on top of their fresh original dough that's made with 6 simple ingredients. Try a one-topping cheddar crust pizza today for only $17.99. You better hurry though, because it's only for a limited time. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's, proudly locally owned and operated.
Tee off to win with Cattail Crossing's $10,000 hole-in-one challenge, powered by Sports 1440, Canada's first ever Aqua Range event. Just walk up, grab some golf balls, and start swinging. Or book a VIP bay today. Win 10 grand with a hole-in-one, plus great secondary hole and leaderboard prizes. Closest to the pin and monthly winners will battle for a $50,000 grand prize. The hole-in-one challenge, open Thursday to Sunday, noon till 8 through August. Weather permitting, cattailcrossing.ca.
Action Electrical's projects team takes the field, folks, ready to execute the entire play for new commercial builds.
Absolutely. They're masters of design build, sketching strategy from initial blueprints to core electrical infrastructure. The team never misses on complex projects.
Known for handling big league constructions and major renovations, ensuring flawless execution, hire the Action Electrical team to bring home a win for your project. Visit actionelectrical.net.
McDonald's summer drink days are back, which means it's officially summer. Enjoy your refreshing small Coca-Cola or small iced coffee for just $1 all summer. Summer's booming with summer drink days. Excludes flavored iced coffee at participating McDonald's in Canada. Taxes extra. Prices exclude delivery.
So you're dying from the heat, sweat dripping on your sheets. You want to cool it down, but your AC can't compete. So you fall upon your knees and cry out, oh please, I need a cooling breeze. Send me Legacy's AC Repairman.
Legacy's AC Repairman. AC Repairman. Can't spell legacy without AC.
Legacy Heating and Cooling's got a guy who's really good at fixing broken ACs. So if you got one, call Legacy. Okay, see you later.
Legacy Heating and Cooling.
I'm Colin Livingston, president of Cantor, proudly delivering world-class hydraulic torque wrenches in Canada since 2016. I'm thrilled to announce our in-house production of tool components and accessories for faster turnarounds and enhanced versatility. The future is here at Cantor.com.
Silent Ice Sports and Entertainment is an innovative market leader across Western Canada with sports and entertainment properties, including the Spruce Grove Saints, the Junior Prospects Hockey League, Silent Rides Charter Company, the Hockey Super League, and the newly launched Female Super League. Silent Ice also owns the Western Hockey League's Seattle Thunderbirds and operates the Morinville AAA Arena. The Silent Ice Center, a new state-of-the-art entertainment facility, is open in Nisku, which features 2 sheets of ice, including a 1,600-seat arena and a restaurant with a viewing area.
I'm Rick Showers from No Bull RV, and I know there's no such thing as a free lunch. But when you bring your used RV to No Bull, I'll give you a free roof assessment. Now, what do I mean by that? It means we'll climb up and take a real close look at all the joints and connections and seals on your roof and give you a written report on what's going on up there.
How often do people get up on the roof of their RV, Rick?
Not often enough, Bob. You should do this twice a year.
Would I know what to look for if I did it myself?
Maybe. Depends on how experienced you are in RV maintenance. But remember, there's no free lunch. There's a 1 out of 10 chance I'm going to sell you something. But what I want to sell you is a small repair. The kind we catch before there's a lot of water damage, rather than the kind that costs you thousands once the leak is visible from the inside. And 9 times out of 10, the assessment is really free. And it's also free to know you'll be safe and dry this camping season.
And that's No Bull.
NoBullRV.ca.
When I get
Portions of this hour brought to you by Papa John's. Feeding a crowd, get the triple play, a 3 large specialty or a 5-topping pizza for only $54 when you use promo code 3play at papajohns.ca.
Pro sports, local sports, minor leagues, you got it all. It's the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
In 40, Oilers Nation, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. Hope you're having a lovely day. There's lots happening. It's like it's free agency today. Lots of deals, lots of big deals. Oilers, shorter term deal. Evan Bouchard, 4 years.
$10.5 million if you're just joining us. Also, the Panthers have signed Ekblad and Marchand. Marchand gets a 6-year deal. I have to admit, I'm a little surprised by that. 6-year deal at over like 5.3 mil per season. Ekblad gets 8 years at 6.1 per year. So, you know what? For the next year, Florida feels like, hey, we're in win now mode. We're going to do it, and we'll worry about it later on. But they'll be paying later on. There will be some pain for sure. I would think long term, but it's kind of how it goes. And we'll see though. Is it quicker long term pain or is it shorter? They've got some good young players there. Like I love Lundell as a player, man. I really like him as a player. Losterinen, also good player. That third line though was like unbelievable. Can they do it again? We shall see. We'll see. We're gonna get to the 2-minute warning with Cam Tate momentarily. A lot of texts coming in, 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. You can text us in our EWEL inbox. It's the Gregor Show, always presented by PlayAlberta.ca. Hey, guys, I know everybody's talking about Nurse. What about the chance that you think they could move Ekholm? He's older, a little bit slower. Well, hey, anything's possible, man. Do I think that they would be looking to move Ekholm? Like I know that Ekholm, you know what? No, he doesn't. He has no trade restrictions. So I guess in that sense, it would be easier. You'd have to get something pretty decent, I would think, to even consider it. So, no, Stan Bowman here. Well, I don't think he's just idly sitting by here. With all, I know that right now it feels like, oh my God, the Oilers are doing nothing. Everybody else is doing something. And that's how it works when the other teams are making moves. So the Oilers were never going to be in on Mitch Marner. I think we all knew that. They needed a $12 million winger. They got a lot of money up front. So we'll see where it goes. Now, let's get to Cam Tate, the 2-minute warning, brought to you by Legacy Heating and Cooling, home of the no payments, no interest for 1 year on your AC unit. Stay cool all summer long at legacyheating.ca. Cam Tate, longtime journalist in town. And of course, Cam, born with cerebral palsy, he's in a wheelchair, and due to his disability, was unable to be on radio until now. Through the wonders of technology, Cam's words come to life in the 2-minute warning.
It was a Saturday in June, the 17th day, 2006, Game 6 of the Stanley Cup Finals. The Oilers dusted the Carolina Hurricanes 4-zip in Game 6, sending the series back to Carolina for the 2 best words in hockey. Game 7. Oilers coach Craig MacTavish was asked if, as a player who has 4 Stanley Cup rings and 1 game away from another one, if he would encourage his players to envision being Stanley Cup champions. The chap we call Mac T looked down, paused, then looked at the 300 or so reporters, smiled, and said, "Absolutely. Now, I am a big fan of envisioning success. Get a chance of what being a champion feels like. And then presto, there's another source of motivation. So it's rather, I don't know the right word, ironic perhaps. The Brick Invitation Hockey Tournament has, since 1990, has played out when the NHL free agency starts. July 1st, right? A chance when NHL players whose contract expires like the 6-month-old pepperoni in Uncle Pete's fridge look at signing with another team as their journey to Stanley Cup excellence continues. I really believe a big part of being a championship is mindset. The Brick Tournament gives young hockey players, 10 years old, you know, Gregor, a chance to be in a highly competitive environment and the experience ferrying a championship trophy around the West Edmonton Mall Arena Sunday. The obvious question is, how many players have gone on to skate into the NHL? A recent Post-Media story says over 100, and that's great. But what's even better is putting countless kids into a position to succeed. It might not be hockey. It could be anything they want. But first, they have to see it. 2-minute warning. Cam Tate. Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Gregor Show. Sports 1440.
Yeah, the Brick Tournament's going on right now, right here at West Edmonton Mall. Of course, Sports 1440 Studios. We're on the second level of WEM, and the rink is just can walk down. I like going down there. Usually there's, it's always exciting. Kids get fired right up. Well, I'm not sure what they like more, the hockey or going to the water park. It's a pretty close toss-up. They might even slide to the water park, I would think, as they should, as 10-year-old kids, because I know adults still get pretty fired up about going to the water park. Hey, guys, although I'm not too excited about Bouchard making 10, I'm happy that it's only for 4 years. This way, if he underperforms, it won't affect the Oilers for 8 seasons. True, but what if he performs well? Then the next deal is going to be even higher. And I guess if a guy performs well, not going to worry about it. Hey, guys, I thought Wallman looked pretty good with Bouchard in the playoffs, better than Kulak. Maybe he can fill in on the left side for Ekholm. Well, I think that's the other thing. The conversation was always, well, Bouchard, you know what? He looks good because of Ekholm. Well, Ekholm didn't play in the postseason up until the final, and Bouchard looked pretty good without him. So we'll see. Hey, guys, what realistic chance does Besser have of signing in Edmonton? Does he want at least 7? Can we afford him with the loss of Kane? From Rob. Well, Besser might get 8 on a free agent market. There's not a lot of score. Mitch Marner's off, so there's him and Nikolai Ehlers as scoring wingers. Now, Besser had 1 40-goal year, but he's basically like a 21 to 29, still really solid, and 45 to 55 points. That's kind of what he's been. Brock Besser is like salt of the earth human. People in Vancouver rave about nice guy. And I know some people, I don't care. Well, it does matter. I think that does matter. What he's good at are things the Edmonton Oilers don't have. He's very good around the net. He's exceptional at screening and creating havoc in front of the net, which is something the Oilers did not do enough of against Florida. And he also can score, so that's a nice bonus. Now, he's not the fastest guy. I went in the last 4 years, his skating, he's never been fleet of foot. Neither is Matthew Tkachuk. Not every guy has to be a burner, right? Brock Besser plays his style. He's a 21.6, 21.9 mile an hour skater. That's what he is, right? It's not going to change, but it hasn't slowed down at all. So the last 4 years, to me, that's a sign. Because if he starts to erode, that's a concern. Like Gavrikov. Gavrikov 4 years ago was 23.6 last year, and the year before, 21.8, 21.9. That's a big difference. For a defenseman, if all of a sudden you start to lose your speed, to me, that's a concern. So Besser, he's been successful. He knows how to play. Not every guy has to skate, but he's really good in front of the net. So I think he could help Edmonton a lot of ways. Now, the problem is cap space. The Oilers don't have a lot of it, right? They hardly have any of it. So, you know what? They're hoping to get an Arvidsson deal here. I know that's what they're working the phones on. There's some talk. They're trying to maybe even move out Adam Henrique at this point. So we'll see. Right. We'll see if they can get the deals done. Like, they have eyes on Besser, but can the math work? That's the question. Does the math work? Can you make it happen? Now, unless they have an Alex Pietrangelo situation. If you're just joining us, Alex Pietrangelo, lots of reports that he's going to require some major surgeries and will be done for the entire season. Regular season, maybe playoffs, we'll see. They don't know yet, but that's the early report. So that allowed them then to go out and trade for Mitch Marner. So it's a sign and trade. Marner signs the 8-year deal, $12 million a year, leaves Toronto, goes to Vegas. And the Golden Knights, they got better offensively. There's no doubt. We'll find out exactly what's happening with Pietrangelo when we return. Ken Bulkey will join us from Vegas. We'll talk Mitch Marner. The Pacific Division got a lot of bet better today. Make no mistake. But you gain Marner, but you lose Pietrangelo and Nick Roy, who we assume is going back in the trade. So how much better are they? It's that's a valid question. So we'll find out next after a Declan Kruger Sports 1440 update brought to you by your Alberta GMC dealers. Employee pricing is on now at GMC. Get up to $12,000 off a 2025 Sierra 1500 Crew Cab Denali Ultimate. See more at gmccanada.ca.
This is the Sports 1440 update.
And for your Sports 1440 1440 update. Edmonton Oilers news. The team has re-signed Evan Bouchard to a 4-year deal with a $10.5 million AAV. Kasperi Kapanen and Noah Philp also signed today. Kapanen on a 1-year, $1.3 million deal, while Philp has signed a 2-way deal worth $775,000. Other news around the NHL. Mitch Marner has signed an 8-year deal with a $12 million AAV in Vegas in a sign-and-trade with the Leafs. Nicholas Roy heading back to Toronto. In the deal, Panthers and defenseman Aaron Ekblad have reached an 8-year, $48.8 million contract extension to keep him in Florida. They have also signed Brad Marchand to a 6-year deal worth $32 million. Islanders have signed defenseman Alex Romanov to an 8-year, $50 million contract extension with an AAV of $6.25 million. Maple Leafs have acquired Mateus Maccelli from the Utah Mammoth in exchange for a conditional third-round selection in 2027. And the Detroit Red Wings have traded forward Vladimir Tarasenko to the Minnesota Wild in exchange for future considerations. MLB action will get going today with the Padres and Phillies at 4:35, Cardinals and Pirates at 4:40, Yankees and Blue Jays 5:07 first pitch. Max Scherzer on the mound. Bo Bichette scratched for that one. Local action is the Stingers are back tomorrow, 4 p.m. for a Canada Day special. They'll play host to the Alliance, as are the Edmonton Riverhawks at a sold-out game down at Remax Field. 7:05 first pitch for that one versus Port Angeles. I'm Declan Kruger. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440, Stingray Radio Station. CKJR broadcasts from West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin.
Download the free Stingray music app and listen wherever you go.
New crust alert at Papa John's. Your favorite cheese meets your favorite pizza in the new cheddar crust pizza for only $17.99. Papa John's pizza makers created the perfect addition to their crust by melting garlic and herb seasoned cheddar cheese right on top of their fresh original dough that's made with 6 simple ingredients. Try a one-topping cheddar crust pizza today for only $17.99. You better hurry though, because it's only for a limited time. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's, proudly locally owned and operated.
Are you an elite athlete or weekend warrior and you just want to enjoy playing the sport you love with less or even no pain? Have you tried every exercise and stretch imaginable, hoping the next one might do the trick? Well, you tried Analog. At Leading Edge Physiotherapy, we believe healing can move along better and sometimes even faster with evidence-based technology techniques and the people who know how and when to apply it. StimPod, zero-gravity treadmills, radial shockwave, and so much more at your fingertips when you click to find us at leadingedgephysio.com.
Is it Riverside Motorsports? No. It's Riverside Motorsports. Over 55 years in business, and people still get it wrong. Guess it's time to get it right.
Riverside Motorsports. What you do for fun is our business.
Experience Edmonton Stingers Pro Basketball. Celebrate Canada Day with a game on Tuesday, July 1st at 4 p.m. It's the most affordable, family-friendly, fun sports experience in the city. Tickets start at just $20. thestingers.ca.
Whether you're a craft beer connoisseur or more of a wine aficionado, there's always something new to discover at Sherbrooke Liquor, a unique, family-owned, independent liquor store. The selection, incredible. The non-alcohol section is also very impressive. Sherbrooke Liquor, expert, knowledgeable staff with a passion for unique finds. More than just a liquor store, we're a community. Alberta's best, the one and only Sherbrooke Liquor. Wine, spirits, and oodles of beer. Visit SherbrookeLiquor.com.
Day or night, tasting just so right. You can order oodle noodle at oodlenoodle.ca, delivering you the news almost right away. Remember, you can order oodle noodle at oodlenoodle.ca. So stay on your couch all day and order oodlenoodle.ca. Oodle noodle.
And here comes Action Electrical Service Team sprinting onto the scene. These are your first responders for any electrical emergency.
That's right. With their fleet of service vans and specialized gear, they assess, they service, and maintain electrical lighting and automation systems. They're all about rapid response.
Quick diagnostics and repairs to restore power and safety fast. Hire the Action Electrical team to bring home a win for your project. Visit actionelectrical.net.
Luke from Catch of the Week here. If you've heard me singing on the radio, you know I'm crazy about Canada. So of course, we're going all out for Canada Day. Come shop super fresh seafood selections for your Canada Day celebration. and get a True North Strong and free old cooked lobster. Don't miss out. Get your free lobster with purchase today.
Conditions apply. See Catch of the Week for details. Just off the Henday, 5 minutes from Sherwood Park. Details and directions at catchoftheweekedmonton.com.
This summer, get it done with Bashaw Concrete Products. The highest quality ready mix and gravel with quick, dependable delivery across central Alberta. Call now for your free quote from their friendly, helpful team. Bashaw Concrete Products also offers precast water pads for your cattle, garage sumps, and water cisterns. And if your farm, acreage, or cabin needs a new septic tank, remember, their CSA-approved tanks include a 20-year limited replacement warranty. Can't beat that. Visit BashawConcrete.com and follow them on Facebook. Sun is shining, the weather's warm, and some of Edmonton's favorite sports are back in season. If you're looking for the cherry on top of a perfect summer day, check out Play Alberta to experience casino, sports, and lottery all in one app. Download the Play Alberta app today and deposit $20 or more with promo code OIL to claim a $100 casino bonus. That's promo code OIL for a $100 casino bonus on us. Gamable once per Play Alberta account. Remember, if you gamble, please use your game sense.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Leading Edge Physio. The team in Old Strathcona have special training dedicated to reducing the impact of cancer care before, during, and after your diagnosis. From lymphedema to the management of fatigue and side effects of chemotherapy and radiation, they can help. Learn more at leadingedgephysio.com.
Hat tricks, touchdowns, and home runs. Get it all with the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Clock. How are you? Jason Gregor. Declan Kruger, Sports 1440, Oilers Nation, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. The Gregor Show is always presented by PlayAlberta.ca. And boys and girls, the silly season is upon us. Contracts galore across the NHL today. If you missed some of them, the Oilers, of course, have signed Evan Bouchard to a 4-year, $10.5 million AAV. And away you go. You have Mitch Marner going to Vegas on a 8-year, $12 million contract. Ekblad stays in Florida for 6.1 for 8 years. Marchand gets 6 years at not official term yet, but 5.4 million bucks. So good money if you can get it. And we'll go around the NHL now, brought to you by McDonald's and $2 Sundays, $2 snack size shakes, or $1 cone when you use the app. Easy. $1 cones through the McDonald's app. Download it, use it today. As Ken Bolke from Sinbin in Vegas joins us. And Ken, this has been rumored for a while. I thought Vegas was definitely going to take a swing at Mitch Marner. Well, they took a swing and they landed Mitch Marner. But before we get to that, the Alex Pietrangelo reports about his health and injuries and could be done for the year. When you consider the signing of Marner, it definitely seems to match when you look at salaries.
Yeah, I mean, we've been hearing this for a minute, and obviously the entirety of the season, it was kind of in the back of everyone's mind. He missed 4 nations, kind of banged up towards the end of the season. He played pretty darn well in the postseason, and then in the postseason press conference, he's talking about the Olympics next year. And I don't know, it's an interesting one that it goes from where it was to like it seemed like it was a problem, it wasn't looking great, to all of a sudden, yeah, he's not playing this year, and next year's probably not happening either, and that might have been the last we ever see of Alex Pietrangelo. Whoa, that happened real quick. But yeah, it might end up being a sad end, and it kind of puts a damper on the Marner stuff a little bit, but not that much.
Yeah, like Pietrangelo could be a big loss for sure. Nicholas Hague is gone now in a trade, but they got other guys on their back end. I was actually looking at their back end right now, and you're just like, all right, like they seem to have their 7 defensemen already for next season. If you look at it from Theodore and Hannafin and McNabb and White Cloud and Lazon and Hutton and Korzak, there's their 7 defensemen. Now I don't think it's as good necessarily without Pietrangelo and Hague.
Right.
But it's still pretty solid. Have you confirmed, is Nick Roy going to Toronto as part of this Marner signing trade?
I don't know that it's been officially confirmed what it is, but we've been hearing for multiple days. I had a source that told me that Nick Waugh was alerted on, it's Monday now. So I was alerted on Saturday afternoon that he had been traded to.
I think we lost Ken. Oh no, Ken, you back with us? Oh, no, we'll try to get him set up again there. So we'll reconnect in a second. But basically, I think he was saying that Roy found out on Saturday, and that's kind of when it came out that it wasn't going to happen. So you look at Vegas, they make this deal. They've got all their forwards, and they got their defense and their roster. Now, they might add a depth forward here or there, but their roster, because, you know what, they signed Brandon Saad, and Riley Smith, Dorofiev's in the last year of his deal. He's probably one of their best contracts. And then, you know, Jack Eichel's a UFA next summer. Saad Smith again on the back end, Jeremy Lauzon. So their roster's pretty set. You know, Jack Eichel will likely get a raise. How much of a raise will depend on kind of where he's at. We'll see. But it looks like they're pretty set there, especially with Marner locking in an 8-year deal. So we'll see. And Ken is back with us now. So Ken, you're saying that Roy found out on Saturday. That's kind of when it came out. So he's likely going to be part of the deal. Just for fun, if you looked at it today, like, is Mitch Marner, is it captain obvious he's going to play with Jack Eichel? Like, I don't think they're paying the guy $12 million to be on their second line.
I don't know that it's that for sure. Marner's been playing on the right side most of the time. Stone plays on the right side of the Golden Knights. They really like Stone with Eichel last year. It worked out very well. They both ended up being over a point per game player. I think it's possible you could see him with Hurdle. You could potentially see him with Carlson. I don't expect them to go super top loaded, going Marner, Eichel, and Stone. Like, that would surprise me. But I could see them deciding, let's go with Marner and Eichel together, and then putting Stone with Carlson. Like, that wouldn't shock me either. But I don't think it's like a slam dunk. But yeah, I could see them using both early on.
Okay. I don't know if you have had a chance to talk to Marner yet, but he gets out of Toronto. He'll come into Vegas. And I think Mitch Marner is a really good player. I've always argued that the top 4 guys in Toronto are all very good players. They just have the right mix, right? And I think at times their competitiveness was something that maybe lacked. You know, Eichel's learned how to win. He knows how to compete, play both ends. Marner's always actually been a pretty reliable player, both ends of the ice. And, the coach, I think, knows him well from coaching against him. This seems like a pretty good fit and kind of gets him out of the spotlight of Toronto.
Yeah, I think the one thing that kind of would be the concern, and you're like, let's be honest here, Mitch Marner's a superstar. I'm not trying to downplay anything. He's very, very good. He's going to be excellent with the Golden Knights. He's going to score a ton of points. The one thing that I would look at, because you're saying, like, is it the right mix, and competitive ended up being the issue. That's not going to be the problem here. Eichel's very competitive. Mark Stone's very competitive. They're going to be fine there. The issue is all of their superstars are pass first. Like, Eichel does not score a ton of goals. Mark Stone does not score a ton of goals. Mitch Marner, not a ton of goals. The defensemen are not really big-time goal scorers that are high-end defensemen with Theodore and Hannafin. So do they have that player? Really, you look down the roster, the only, like, super shoot-first guy on the entire roster is Pavel Dorofeev. And he's it'll be his 3rd year, and he kind of disappeared in the playoffs in his first opportunity. So that's the one thing that I look at the forward group and I say, okay, but who's going to finish all these chances? I think in the regular season won't be a big issue. But when you start to get into these tight situations late in series where you've got Eichel, who has 4 goals in his last 30 playoff games, and Marner, who has 4 in his last 29 playoff games, who's going to finish these chances? That's the one piece that I wonder with their top 9.
Okay, interesting. I like that, and that's valid, right? Like, you need, if you have all the passers and no one's going to be the shooter. Now maybe Jack Eichel, becomes a little bit more of a shooter when Marner's like, hey, dude, shoot the puck. Like, I'll get it to you. So we'll see. What do you make?
Did you hear what Eichel had to say about that?
No.
So Eichel this summer, after they had lost, he said he gets texts all the time from everyone he knows that says he needs to shoot more. And Cassidy said, you need to shoot more. And so my point is, well, if people have been telling him for years and years and years that he needs to shoot more, he won't.
Fair.
Right? Like it's just not in your makeup. Some guys, it's just not in your makeup. And if all of a sudden Jack Eichel starts shooting more and the numbers don't follow him and the game doesn't follow him, he's going to bail on that immediately and go back to being superstar Jack Eichel that passes all the time.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's totally valid. Right.
Right.
So, yeah. No, it's fair.
Yeah.
Right. It's hard. You've been in the league for over a decade. It's kind of hard to suddenly change everything about your game. Right. Yeah.
Be someone else. Hey, you're one of the best players in the world. You're the best American we've got. Be someone else. No.
Yeah. No, that is totally fair. Totally fair. So, if you look at Vegas now, and it looks like the roster is pretty set. They kept some of the guys. They brought Riley Smith back. They brought Brandon Saad. What do you make of now they're off season? Barring a little tweak here, it looks like they're done. Or do you think they're going to have another surprise trade here?
I don't expect anything. The Rasmus Anderson thing's out there. I think LeBron reported that in a story in The Athletic, and there was quite a bit of information basically saying Rasmus Anderson will go nowhere other than Vegas, which it's like,
really?
Okay, the rich get richer. It's like crazy. But having lived here for 14 years myself, I get it. There's no better place in the world to live, and the situation's pretty darn good. And then there's the tax benefits. So I get it. But I do not expect the Rasmus Anderson thing to come true. I just don't see a way for them to make that happen at this point. If Rasmus Anderson's on the roster next year at this time, that would not surprise me at all. But I don't expect all that much. I do think they're going to go buy another defenseman. I don't expect it to be like a massive number, a massive name, but I do think it'll be a player that is probably better than Jeremy Lauzon. I don't expect them to all of a sudden have Jeremy Lauzon in the lineup every single day. It just doesn't really make a lot of sense to me. We'll see on that one, but other than that, you're going to see him kind of fill in around the edges with probably trying to find more guys who put the puck in the net. Can we find guys who have had issues? Last year they did Olofsson and Holtz. It wouldn't shock me if they go down that road trying to find those guys that score but don't do anything else and hope that they can get around that problem.
Ken Bulke joins us from Vegas discussing the Mitch Marner trade. He is now a member of the Vegas Golden Knights. Also, the Alex Pietrangelo news likely going to be on LTIR for the entire season. When Vegas kind of, I haven't talked to you since they lost to the Oilers, and kind of surprising, a little bit of a whimper, really. Edmonton really kind of dominated. Vegas couldn't score the last few games of that series. What was kind of their end of season overview of what happened in that series?
So it would kind of varied from different people. So the players were pretty much all, what a waste. I can't believe we wasted this. What went wrong? And they didn't really have a ton of answers. Cassidy was more saying look, the depth of our team lost. We did the job. We did what we were supposed to do, which is slow down McDavid, slow down Draisaitl, and we still lost in 5. And he's saying, all right, well, maybe we had the wrong game plan. Maybe we had the wrong idea of what we needed to do. Maybe we should have played more up-tempo, high-scoring games. And that was kind of his takeaway. Then McCrimmon, the general manager, his takeaway was something along the lines of, I can't believe we stopped scoring. We scored all year. I don't understand why we stopped scoring. And then there's me, who's the exact opposite. That would have told you that all their scoring came against bad teams the entire season. They won one game in between the last 17 games that they played against the Western Conference top 5 teams. One game. It was the Edmonton game that they won that Draisaitl scored with 0.4 seconds into his own net. It's the only time they beat Winnipeg, Edmonton, LA, or Dallas, or Colorado in the last. That was basically from January.
Wow.
So to me, it was kind of a red flag, right? They were beating a lot of backup goalies. They were scoring a ton of goals on garbage teams. And then when they would play the good teams, it's two here, one there. And when the goals stopped, it didn't surprise me. It really didn't. Mark Stone being out did not help. No question about that. That hurt. And he was banged up and wasn't very good. Pietrangelo being injured and where he was, that hurt as well. But the scoring going away, Pavel Dorofeev not scoring and then getting injured. Brandon Saad got injured. They didn't get scoring from Howden, from Kolazar, from Smith, from guys like that. It's like, this isn't terribly surprising to me. These aren't goal scorers. Barbashev. Yeah. So to me, it was like, that's kind of what was going to happen. Either we're going to get low-scoring games and Vegas is going to get that extra goal from the guys down the lineup, or the opposite's going to happen, which is Edmonton's depth guys score, and Kasperi Kapanen's going to poke in a game winner and eliminate them. That's what happened.
Yeah. No, hey, now Dorofiev's injury, I think, obviously hurt them a little bit. He was their best goal scorer, and when you don't have guys who are goal scorers and then you lose a goal scorer, it definitely hurts. So I guess my question will be, Ken, so you mentioned it off the top, and I really liked your honesty that, hey, they're bringing in a guy who's a passer, not necessarily a goal scorer, and they didn't have a lot of goal scorers. So maybe Jack Eichel finishes, and then Mark Stone's a year older, and there's always the concern with Mark Stone, about how he plays and, how healthy is he going to be? Well, if all of a sudden he's hurt, then there's still some potential concerns in Vegas.
Well, and then there's Hurdle, who doesn't really score. He did have 32. He had a heck of a year, a lot of it on the power play, but it was one of his better goal-scoring years of his career. William Karlsson doesn't really score. Ivan Barbashev scored at the beginning of the year, but then completely stopped. And as much as, I agree, like, not having Dorofeev hurts, but, like, Dorofeev played in playoff games. He had one goal, and I think he played 9 playoff games before he went down or something like that. It was quite a few, and it wasn't there. Like, he was not going to suddenly score in the playoffs for this team. Maybe on the power play a little bit. Olsen didn't score. It's tricky because, like, they scored so much in the regular season. They finished 5th overall in the league in scoring. Like, they scored a ton in the regular season. Their power play was great in the regular season, but they don't draw penalties. And I don't think Matt Marner is helping that problem either, right? He's not a big penalty draw guy, right?
Yeah. He'll kill penalties, but you're right. He doesn't draw a ton of them. So
draw them. Eichel does, but they think they were dead last. I think you were the one that tweeted out that they set the record, right?
Yeah. They had the fewest power play chances in NHL history. Since they've
That's crazy.
Yeah, since they covered it. So which started in like 1977. So yeah, fair amount of time. But they also don't take a lot of penalties, but they just don't get a lot of power plays. So at some point, you know what, you do want to get a few more. I don't think there's any, there's no debate about that. Last one for you, Ken. When you look at the Pacific Division, what do you think? Do you think the Kings are? They did sign Kuzmenko to a 1-year deal, but they might be losing Gavrikov. There's no. Provorov's not on the market now. Ekblad's not on the market now. What do you make of the Kings and what they might do here?
Like, I feel like the Kings need what happened to Detroit back in the day when them and Chicago were going at it every year, and then they just switched conferences. Like, they need that to happen with them and Edmonton. Like, as long as they're in Edmonton's division, what do you expect is going to happen? Like, I don't care what the Kings do in the regular season. They will lose to Edmonton. That's what's going to keep happening. As long as Connor and Leon are there, they're not going to lose to the Kings. Like, so to me, like, unless they do something that materially changes the roster, and that does not appear like it's going to happen, the Golden Knights took the only guy that would have done that for them, which is Marner. So I think they're good. I think they're going to be right there. I think when you look at, like, we have this conversation in March, we're going to be like, yep, 3 good teams again. But then when push comes to shove, there's only 2 of them that are going to go at each other when it really matters, and we'll see what happens. The Golden Knights have become a slightly different looking team. I don't know if they're better. It's different. Like, it's hard. It's hard. It's not done yet, too. Like, it's free agency, even it hasn't even opened yet. But it's an interesting division because, like, the rest of the teams are trying to get better, but not doing it very well. Is that fair?
Yeah, no, I think that's totally fair, right? Like, because it's hard.
None of them. Like, you think Anaheim's any good?
Yeah. Well, actually, I do think I kind of like some of their moves, but then the Ville Husso one I don't really understand. But we'll
they got 3 goalies at like 10 million. What are they doing?
Yeah. Well, yeah. Well, what's Dostal gonna get, man? Like, he's gonna get. I think he's gonna get a big number.
He should.
Yeah.
He's a superstar. But then, like, so then what's the rest of the plan? They have like $30 million. Like, Nick Ehlers? Is that it? Okay. I just don't understand it. I'm feeling the same way about Seattle for a long time. Like, what are you doing? They're just going to buy every old guy and then cut him? I don't know what's going on.
Ken, I love it, buddy. Well, we'll have to talk to you again in a week or so. We'll see what happens when the free agent frenzy Ferris wheel kind of stops, because I still think you're right. I think some teams are going to be trying to make moves. It's interesting to listen to some of the GMs talk how a lot of teams are trying to get better this year. Not a lot of people are willing to dump stuff. So, they haven't had the movement. But maybe once a few teams strike out in free agency, maybe they'll change their tune. We'll see.
Right. It's like everybody wants to get better. And then what happens? Florida signs all their players and Vegas gets the best player on the market. It's like, okay, well, the same teams are getting better. What are we doing?
Yeah. So it'll be interesting.
I like it. I'm cool with it. Fine with me.
Ken, great stuff, buddy. We'll talk to you again soon.
See ya.
You betcha. There's Ken Bulkey joining us from Sinbin in Vegas. So I like what he said there. Hey, man, Mitch Marner helps them, but they got a lot of passers. They don't necessarily have a lot of shooters. And they do look different, right? Pietrangelo comes out. Nick Hague comes out. Mitch Marner comes in, right? Nick Roy is out. They re-sign, lots of other guys, but other than Marner coming in, if you look at it, Nick Roy's out. They're going to put Nick Hague got traded, so Sissons and Marner and Lauzon come in. Roy, Pietrangelo, and who am I missing? Roy, Pietrangelo, and Hague go out. So that's kind of their change, right? Because they brought back Saad, they brought back Riley Smith. They were there last year, so they didn't make a ton of other trades, and they don't really have any cap space right now. So Tanner Pearson, Victor Olofsson probably gonna leave. So we'll see. I know Oilers fans are a little fired up, but did anybody in the West yet really get any better? I know everybody's like, well, Florida kept their guys. Yeah, they did. They kept their guys, and they should be all right. But has anybody in the West yet really got any better? And can remember, the Oilers steamrolled Vegas and Dallas. So I get that you're frustrated and thinking, man, Bouchard, they don't have a ton of cap space. Totally valid. But I think sometimes people forget the Oilers were good. The Oilers were good. Quick break. We'll return and hope to catch up with the newest member of the Oilers next on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Your hard hat and huddle up. Your Edmonton Elks take on the Ottawa Redblacks this Sunday at 5. It's the first ever hard hat huddle game, presented by Purolator Tackle Hunger, featuring excavators and diggers in the tailgate and construction-themed in-game contests. Tickets start at just $20. Score yours now at GoElks.com.
The Discovery Day sales event is on now at Volvo Cars Edmonton. It's your final month to lease a 2025 XC90 plug-in hybrid from 1.49% and save $5,000. Lease or finance a 2025 XC60 plug-in hybrid from 0.49% and save $4,000. Lease or finance a 2025 XC40 from 0.49% and save up to $2,000. Come and discover the deals now at Volvo Cars Edmonton. Great vehicles, better services. Only at VolvoCarsEdmonton.com.
You don't have to wait. Boxing Day is back. For 4 days, shop incredible deals, like mattresses starting at just $99. Save big on genuine leather sofas and sections. Queen beds start at only $199. And save the tax when you buy 2 or more major kitchen appliances. Plus, get free local delivery on outdoor furniture purchases of $499 or more. Some exclusions apply. See you in store for details. Boxing Day starts Friday at the Brick, saving you more.
McDonald's summer drink days are back, which means it's officially summer. Enjoy your refreshing small Coca-Cola or small iced coffee for just $1 all summer. Summer's booming with summer drink days. Excludes flavored iced coffee at participating McDonald's in Canada. Taxes extra. Prices exclude delivery.
Silent Rides is one of Alberta's premier bus charter companies. With state-of-the-art motor coaches, we provide our customers with the safest and most reliable ground transportation. Our seatbelt-equipped buses have become the preferred carrier for many local sports teams, tours, corporate outings, and other various travel across Western Canada. For more information and to request a quote, call 1-877-748-0991 or visit silentrides.ca.
Measles outbreaks are occurring in Canada, including Alberta. These outbreaks are highly preventable. Measles is an extremely contagious disease that is spread easily through the air. The best way to protect yourself, your family, and your community is to ensure you are up to date with your immunizations. Don't get measles. Get immunized. Visit alberta.ca/measles to find out if you're up to date and what to do if you're not. A message from the Government of Alberta.
Silent Rides is one of Alberta's premier bus charter companies. With state-of-the-art motor coaches, we provide our customers with the safest and most reliable ground transportation.
Our seatbelt-equipped buses have become the preferred carrier for many local sports teams, tours, corporate outings, and other various travel across Western Canada. For more information and to request a quote, call 1-877-748-0991 or visit silentrides.ca.
An electrical solar team is now making a play for sustainability and savings. They're specialists in powering up for a greener future.
That's the strategy. Designing and installing high-efficiency solar panels. They're helping homes and businesses combat rising utility costs by harnessing the power of the sun.
A smart move for efficiency and the environment. Hire the Action Electrical team to bring home a win for your project. Visit actionelectrical.net.
Rivalries run deep in Alberta football.
Edmonton all the way.
Calgary rules.
But when it comes to the best snack for 3-down fun, there's no Battle of Alberta. It's a clear winner.
Riverhawks beef jerky.
The one thing every Alberta fan agrees on. So whether you're watching the game from your recliner or in the stands, make it a part of your game day.
Wilhauk beef jerky. Because you don't win games with salad. Only available in Leduc.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Culligan. For all your residential water needs, your local water treatment company. More than just big bottles, it's Culligan.com.
Sports Radio is back. The Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Sports 1440.ca. Hope you're having a lovely day. It's the Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website where 100% of the revenue stays right here in the province at PlayAlberta.ca. We got a lot of texts and people. We should just clarify one thing. I see Florida, they have no state, they have no tax. No, that's not true. They just don't have a state tax. So like in Alberta, you pay federal tax, right? What is it, 37%? And then you pay your provincial tax on top of that. Every province has different taxes, right? Ours is about 11%, give or take. So that, and you add them together. So Florida basically, in some cases pays about 13% less tax than New York. That's what, it's not like they don't have any taxes. And for places that have no state tax, they get you in other ways. They charge you more expensive for other things. So I do think it's important. Some people think they pay no taxes. That's not true. They still pay the federal tax. And because, and it's kind of only for the home games, because then when they're traveling on the road, there's the entertainment tax that you pay in certain states in the USA. So it's, I've talked to lots of tax people, and the tax thing is overhyped. And again, for the team itself. Now, do the players, can they make a little bit more take home? Yes, they can. No, there's no doubting that. Okay. They can. Now, maybe your cost of living is a little bit higher, so that evens out in certain places. Sure. But it is important to note that when Barkov signed at $10 million in October of 2021, that wasn't a bargain deal at all. Now, he might get more take home than a guy who signed for $10 million elsewhere, but it wasn't a huge saving. Johnny Gaudreau, Matt Tkachuk, they got the exact same contract. One in a no state, one in a state. So Tkachuk gets more take home, but the team doesn't benefit. Sam Bennett at $8 million a year for 8 years. Now, the first few years, because they think they're going to be competitive, okay, great. But how's that going to age for a guy who's only ever scored 50 points once in his career? And he just had a career year in the playoffs. Ovi and Crosby scored 15 goals each once. They never did it again. You think Sam Bennett's going to do that again? I strongly bet no, he's not. So, Aaron Ekblad over his career, $7.5 million. Was that a real big savings at the time he signed it? No. Bobrovsky sure as hell wasn't at $10 million. Heck, his own team 3 years ago wasn't sure he'd be the guy. They signed their backup to $4.5 million contract. A backup. We'll see. Hey, Gregor, do you think Pietrangelo rises from the grave for the playoffs? I got to know what his injury is first. I don't want to speculate on it. It depends. If it is, it's kind of the last time that's going to be allowed by the NHL, right? And hey, if they did an investigation and nothing came of it, which I didn't think would come of it because all the paperwork is there, but if Pietrangelo has surgery, he has surgery. There's not much you know. Now he's 35 years of age. There's a lot of wear and tear. Will he be healthy? I have no idea. All is going to depend on what his injuries are, right? So we'll see. 833-401-1440. Can text us in our inbox. When I look at the Oilers and where they're at, are they worse than they were last year? No, I think it's fair to say there might be a few question marks. Well, see, I think their starting five defense when the season begins will be better than the starting five defense when they had when the season began last year because Jake Wallman wasn't here. Jake Wallman is better than the number 5 defense when they had last year in the opening game of the season, right? So they are better there. Goaltending might be the exact same. So a little bit more experience. And that's it. I can't say better. I sure as heck would think it's not going to be worse. So now you look at the forward group. On paper, there will be a few more question marks. I don't think there's any doubt in your mind. Like, what can Matt Savoy do? He might be really good. I don't know. I'm always, I like to have cautious expectations on young players. Right? What about Thomasek? I know some people have texted in Gregor, he's going to be like Gaetan Haas. Well, I think that's probably unfair. You know, Gaetan Haas was never a big-time scorer in Europe. And Thomasek, in a much more defensive league, scored. But so opening night last year, if you remember, on opening night, Derek Ryan was their fourth-line center. So I'm probably going to make an argument that their fourth-line center, even if it's Noah Philp, there'll be an upgrade there, size, speed, everything. Janmark, Hyman, Henrique, Brown isn't going to be here. Skinner's not going to be here. Perry, so they're going to be probably 4 or 5 changes up front. Because if you look at opening night, so Kapanen wasn't in the opening night line roster. He'll be in the roster, right? Podkolzin wasn't in the opening night roster. He'll be in the roster. So there's 2. So you take out Skinner and Brown. Podkolzin and Kapanen, who do you like better? Your choice. You tell me the answer. Philp, Ryan. So there's 3. Then, Podkolzin wasn't in the opening lineup. My bad. So Kapanen's in, Philp's in, Savoy's in, Thomasek's in. Derek Ryan's out, Skinner's out, Perry's out. Well, maybe not Perry for sure. Brown's out. There's 3. So Arvidsson, Perry. Heck, if they trade Henrique, the rumblings are they're trying, and Arvidsson, you're talking a significant overhaul of the offense for this team from the start of last year. And hey, maybe they'll be better. We'll see. You look on the back end, right? They had Travis Dermott and Emberson in their third pair on opening night last year. You're going to have Jake Wallman in there. So their defense is better. So I think it's a little too early to be that oh my God, the Oilers are going to suck. I don't really know where that's coming from. It seems a little odd to me. So we'll see where it goes. But the Oilers, obviously the next week, because I can't just say the next 24 hours, because I would argue sometimes the worst decisions are made on July 1st. If we look at it historically, you go bargain shopping, you let everybody else overspend, and then you go out and pick up some of the good players because it happens every year. It happens every year. Now, if you want a big name player, you probably have to go get it on July 1st. Brock Besser, it's probably what you have to do. Hey, Gregor. Hey, guys, I think it's more attractive for a player. I also wish there was more players like Crosby who take less to build a better team and win. Players say the most important thing is winning, but then they take the max they can get, like Bouchard. Now, it's interesting when people say that Crosby took less. So let's go back and look at Sidney Crosby's contract that he signed. Now, you can't do it anymore. But Sidney Crosby signed a 12-year contract at $8.7 million in 2012. And do you know that when Connor McDavid signed his contract at $12.5 million, it was identical percentage of the cap that Crosby had his first year of his deal? Identical. Now, he made more, but the cap was higher. Now, the difference is Crosby's contract went 12 years. Now, he just re-signed now for a 2-year deal at 8.7. Did he take less? I don't know at that point. Yeah, maybe. Somebody might have paid him more. A little bit. But when Crosby signed his deal, and I think it's also important to remember that when Crosby signed his deal for 12 years, there was lots of uncertainty about what his long-term health would be. They weren't sure because they didn't know, right? That they thought it was a concussion, then they missed the neck issues and everything that goes into it. So I don't even know if you can say that Crosby took a hometown discount, because when McDavid signed his contract, to the exact same percentage of the cap that Crosby was. Exact same. So Bouchard gets his deal now. I think it's at times it's something that's repeated. I'm not sure it's really overly true. Could Evan Bouchard, if he signed a long-term deal, get more? Yeah, he would have. Now, Oilers fans might not like it because you don't like it, and that's okay. But that doesn't mean it's not true. And is Brad Marchand, I guess because he signed for 6 years in Florida, do I think Brad Marchand's going to get hurt in the last few years of his deal and then it goes on LTIR? Yeah, I think it's very plausible. So his cap hit is 5.3 or 4. And you know what? Might be great for 1 year. It might be really good for a year. How's it going to age? How's Ekblad going to age? How's Bennett at $8 million going to age? Because if you say, well, we're only paying him for the playoffs, okay, that's fair. But is he really going to do what he did in the playoffs again? The guy scored 50 points once in his career. Look at what Sam Bennett did. Look at the outlier of what his playoff performance was. Okay, this is a player who had in his previous, so he scored 15 goals in 23 games. That's excellent, right? It's fantastic. Prior to that, in the playoffs, he had scored a grand total of 25 goals in, doing the math on in my head here, 84 games. So he had 25 goals in 84 playoff games before scoring 15 and 23 this year. Do you think that he's going to come close? He's never scored double digits before. He only ever scored more than 5 once. Look at his goals per game. Pretty significantly higher. Right? He scored 15 and 23. His best regular season had 28 goals. He had 25 this year. Solid. Most points ever, 51. He was almost a point-a-game player in the playoffs at 22 in 23 games. It was unreal. It was an unreal playoffs for Sam Bennett. And they won. And so I get everyone's like, it doesn't matter because you win. And you can't take it away. They won. But if I'm the next 8 years of Sam Bennett, I'm saying it right now, it's not going to age well. Okay? It's not going to age well. So it's just not. Right? What can you do? And when I look at, the other thing is people, I think, confuse the player saves more money in Florida. Yes. But did he get a discount? I don't believe he did. At $8 million, I don't see how Sam Bennett's a discount. Now, because someone was willing to pay him more doesn't mean it's a discount. It just means the other ones would have paid more. Right? And then he's overpaid. So I don't think at $8 million, it's a great value deal. Just me. We'll come back. We'll get to 5 questions. We got Spec. We also hear from Trent Frederic coming up in the 5 o'clock hour and more on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Sports fans, we've got a clear choice for you. At Crystal Glass, we provide customers with the perfect glass for any job. From home to auto and even commercial, installation or repairs, we're your team. Call 310-GLASS or visit crystalglass.ca. Crystal Glass.
The Summer Drive event is on now
at Buick. Right now, get 0% financing for up to 60 months on the 2025 Buick Envision. Make your presence known with available 20-inch alloy wheels with pearl nickel finish. Showcase your style with available quilted perforated front leather-appointed seats. And radiate confidence on any drive with Buick's suite of standard safety features. Get behind the wheel of your Buick Envision today. Ask your Buick dealer for details.
Reports suggest that Canadian taste buds are bored to tears.
Handle another dull drink.
Summertime smoothie experts everywhere are recommending a watermelon wake-up from Booster Juice.
It's so smooth, cool, and refreshing.
And ridiculously delicious. Enjoy the Watermelon Wave and Watermelon Explosion smoothies, available all summer long at a Booster Juice near you. Stay cool, Canada.
Booster Juice, Canadian born, blending since 1999.
Experience more at the Edmonton Expo Center. Come for Canada's largest trade show, the biggest names in entertainment, exhilarating sporting events, and more. Stay for the experience, but it doesn't end there. Maximize your brand exposure with Edmonton Expo Center's new cutting-edge feature screens, spanning Western Canada's largest venue space. Captivate an annual audience of over 1 million visitors during iconic events like Pro Rodeo, Disney on Ice, Glow, K-Days, and so much more. To learn more, call 780-471-7380 or visit EdmontonExpoCenter.com today.
Legacy Heating and Cooling jingle auditions take one for Gene Principe. Hey, thanks for being on time.
I'm always punctual. Now, how about some cool beats while I drop the heat?
Ready when you are.
Tall legacy, tall legacy.
Nice.
Boom! I'm a musical genius.
Legacy's going to love this for AC season.
What's not to love with no interest and no Principe payments for 1 year?
Are you always like this?
Yep. Unlike Legacy, I never know when to cool it.
Legacy Heating and Cooling.
Hey, everybody, it's Gene Principe. How would you like to join me and others? It's the Edmonton Hockey Legends Cruise, and it's the summer of 2026. It begins July 17th, 7 nights on the Mexican Riviera. We go to Cabo, Mazatlan, Puerto Vallarta, and visit cast.tours/Edmonton. Number to call is 1-833-347-7677.
Save $200 when you mention promo code Stingray Radio. That's cast.tours or call 1-833-347-7678.
Silent Rides is one of Alberta's premier bus charter companies. With state-of-the-art motor coaches, we provide our customers with the safest and most reliable ground transportation. Our seatbelt-equipped buses have become the preferred carrier for many local sports teams, tours, corporate outings, and other various travel across Western Canada. For more information and to request a quote, call 1-877-748-0991 or visit silentrides.ca.
Measles outbreaks are occurring in Canada, including Alberta. These outbreaks are highly preventable. Measles is an extremely contagious disease that is spread easily through the air. The best way to protect yourself, your family, and your community is to ensure you are up to date with your immunizations. Don't get measles. Get immunized. Visit alberta.ca/measles to find out if you're up to date and what to do if you're not. A message from the Government of Alberta.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Cantork. What's the best way to beat the tariffs? Buy Canadian. Cantork's products are not only made in Canada, but right here in Edmonton. Save money, support Canada at cantork.com.
From puck drop to kickoff, it's the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
.44, welcome back. Sports 1440, Orders Nation, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. Hope you are having an awesome day. Hey, there's lots going on. And, of course, we'll have coverage tomorrow starting at 10 a.m. here on Sports 1440 as the free agent friend. Well, hey, what's left of it? But trust me, there's still lots of players to get out there. Let's get to 5 questions now, brought to you by The Brick as Boxing Week returns. It is back for 4 days. Shop incredible deals. Last night's your last time to get it. Mattresses are only $99. Queen bed starting at only $199. That and a whole lot more at The Brick and TheBrick.com.
It's time for 5 questions on the Jason Gregor Show.
All right, Jason, question number 1. Some Oilers re-signings. How many points do Kapanen and Bouchard get next season, and how many games does Noah Philp play?
Noah Philp. Now let's start there because that's an interesting. Well, I'll say Noah Philp plays 42 games.
That's crazy. Low Tide said 43.
Okay. And Kapanen points. Ooh, that's I'm gonna say I'm always leaning on more of the low end. So I'll say Kasperi Kapanen gets 20 points.
Boosh?
74.
All right. Question number 2. Of all the re-signings and trades we've seen today, last couple days, I mean, too many to even mention, which one has stuck out for you as the best value? And value's up to, your own interpretation, whether it be dollar value for the player, for the team, whether it be best value in return of trade, whatever it is for you, what has been the best value?
Oh, wow. If we're probably looking at best value, I probably got to go a little bit lower down the pole because there's just not a lot of great value at the top of it. If I'm being honest, like I think there's some okay ones, but I would, like good value. Like I guess there's fair value, but if I go a guy who I think has a chance to be good value for his team, I think it's Claude Giroux. Yeah. $2 million base. Obviously, if he hits some of his bonuses, then there's some bonus overages for next year. But a $2 million base salary for Claude Giroux is pretty good.
Question number 3: where does Corey Perry play next season?
Oh God. I know he wants to be on a team that can win. The Oilers, like right now, if I look at their depth chart, I'm not sure I see a ton of room for him, to be honest. Maybe if he wants to come back kind of 12, 13 forward. So I'm going to say Edmonton or Dallas.
Question number 4. Wimbledon starts today. Do you have a prediction for the men's and women's champions?
Go ahead.
For the women's, I'll say Elena Rybakina. She has won it before 3-4 years ago, I think. She's sitting outside the top 10 now. Good grass court player, though. And then for the men's, I'm going to go Yannick Sinner. Like him a lot. Italian kid.
Oh, yeah. Sinner.
Good lettuce.
Sinner is good. Like I'm going to go, you know what? I'm going to go old school. I think the Joker's going to pull off.
Always a good
I'll go with him. Like I know it's hard to go against Alcaraz, but Alcaraz, didn't he almost lose to a 38-year-old today?
Yeah. He
went
today.
5 sets to a 38-year-old, which is unbelievable. But I got to agree with you on the women's side, though. So.
Perfect. Question number 5, Canada Day tomorrow. So in honor of that, who is your favorite Canadian musician, favorite Canadian actor, and your favorite thing that's specific to Canada?
Favorite things specific to Canada. Oh God. Kit Kat. I would say my favorite Canadian actor of all time, or like right now?
Of all time. We'll take it back in the memory vault.
I might go Jim Carrey.
I
like Jim. He's pretty funny. He's serious in a few ones, and then musician. I'm gonna go The Weeknd right now. If I'm going current, I'm going The Weeknd. If I'm going all time, I might go with Bryan Adams just because some of his songs are so catchy.
I like it. Good picks.
You?
For actor, I'll go Ryan Gosling because I tell people I look like him. Musician, I'll say I was thinking Bryan Adams as well because of Heaven and Summer of '69. Like they just both get me flying. Unfortunately, it probably is Drake. Like I'm not necessarily proud of that. I'm not a big Drake guy, but he just always seems to find his way on the playlist. And then for my favorite thing that's uniquely Canadian, it's actually even more specific Saskatchewan, but calling a hoodie a bunny hug. Like I called a hood. My dad's from Saskatchewan, so I called a hoodie a bunny hug until I was probably like 10, 11 years old.
All right. Ryan Gosling, really? Who told you that?
I tell people that.
Oh.
Because the sayings normally like people tell you look like Gosling. I tell people I look like us.
Jeez, I tell people that's who I look like. Doesn't mean you look like him, but it's nice though.
Yeah, it's a nice little play on words there.
Yeah. No, it's true. Well, it's true. So we'll see. But it's interesting just hey guys, what about Tragically Hip? Well, hey, everybody's entitled to who they like. You can't tell someone who you think's better. Tragically Hip's good, but Tragically Hip's not around right now. So Weekend's pretty good. I don't think you can argue the Weekend's not pretty talented. You can like the Hip. And it's not that I don't like the Hip, but they're not. When I grew up, I became more of a Hip fan later than I was earlier, to be honest. So just didn't. So, hey, Gregor, if the Oilers don't get a goalie, then 97 isn't going to re-sign from Brian. Brian, do you have inside information on that? Are you sure? Who knows? I guess anything's possible. I don't know if, like somebody said, hey, maybe McDavid just waits and see how the season goes and signs me and see. I guess it's possible. He'd probably then. The one thing I know about Connor is he doesn't like getting asked the same question. If he doesn't sign a contract, every visiting place he goes this year will ask him about his contract. Everyone. He'll play in St. Louis on Monday. They'll ask him. He'll play in Minnesota on Wednesday. They'll ask him. So I guess it's possible he could go and wait. I don't know if I think sometimes people are overrating, yeah, he's mad that they lost. Where is he going to go that gives him a for sure better chance to win? Can you tell me where? Because outside of Colorado with McKinnon, there's no team he's going to go to where his best teammates as good, as Leon Draisaitl. That's the only one. And then you have to figure out how they're going to fit in the contracts, who they're going to move. Now, you know what? Vegas kind of got lucky because Pietrangelo goes on LTIR, and then you move out Nicholas Roy, so there's 11 mil, 0.8, Marner's 12. It kind of evens out. So, and you know what? Hey, McDavid could leave. I can't say it's not possible at all, but and it would be a fascinating one because if, and this is a big if, I still think he'll sign an extension before the start of the season. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's what I think. If he doesn't, then Edmonton, as crazy as it sounds, would probably have to because you can't lose McDavid for nothing, right? It would be awful asset management because you're not going to first of all, you're not going to replace him. And even if you have all the cap space from his new contract, right? Which would be 12.5 mil. Well, what? Then you're just going to overpay someone in free agency. Well, that's not going to help you either. So yeah, it would be a brutal situation. And so then if I think they'd have to seriously consider trading him at the deadline. Because you're like, well, we can't just let you walk for nothing. Yeah, we could take a last run and maybe we win. But what if we don't win? Now we don't win and we lose you for nothing? Or we lose you for like a third line center, which is what you got for Mitch Marner. So I'm not going to think you're going to get that much more from a team. So it is not an ideal situation if I still think he is going to do it. Hey, Gregor, lots of places. He transforms them into a Stanley Cup favorite right away. Dallas, Carolina. But how's Dallas fitting him in? Right? Like, who are they getting rid of to fit him in? Right? You got to get rid of $60 million in cap space. That's what you got to do. Right? Because no competitive team has all the free cap space just to add them. Right? So could there be other good teams? Of course, McDavid would make any team better. I don't discount that. But will his odds of winning really increase that much? Like, honestly, how much would they increase if he went to another team? How much? 2%? 5%? Could you see any way there would be like a 10% increase, which is pretty significant? That all of a sudden, if he went there, because the team's got to be cap compliant, right? And then because that next year is when the new rules will kick in, you couldn't have a team say, well, we're going to have a guy, on LTIR, and that frees up all the money, and then he comes back in. So we'll see where it goes. It is going to be fascinating, though, to see how it plays out. A little nerve-wracking for Edmonton Oilers fans. I still think McDavid's going to sign. Now, it might be a 3-year deal, 4-year deal, 5-year, 2-year, who knows? But I still think he will resign. He's went to back-to-back cups. He knows teams close. He knows they're close. Let's get to the con man and a Sports 1440 update brought to you by Legacy Heating and Cooling. Home with no payments, no interest for 1 year on your AC unit. Stay cool all summer long at legacyheating.ca. It's the Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
This is the Sports 1440 update.
And for your Sports 1440 update, Oilers news: the team has re-signed Evan Bouchard to a 4-year deal with a $10.5 million AAV. Kasperi Kapanen and Noah Philp also signing today. Kapanen on a 1-year, $1.3 million deal, while Philp has signed a 2-way deal at $775,000. Other news in the NHL is Mitch Marner has signed an 8-year deal with a $12 million AAV in Vegas and a sign-and-trade with the Toronto Maple Leafs. Nicholas Roy heading back to Toronto in the deal. Panthers and defenseman Aaron Ekblad have reached an agreement on an 8-year, $48.8 million contract extension. Brad Marchand also signing with the club on a 6-year deal worth $32 million. New York Islanders have signed defenseman Alexander Romanov to an 8-year, $50 million contract extension with an AAV of $6.25 million. And the Maple Leafs also did acquire Matthias Machelli from the Utah Mammoth in exchange for a conditional third-round selection in 2027. NBA news is the Memphis Grizzlies and All-Star Jaren Jackson Jr. are expected to agree on a 5-year, $240 million maximum renegotiation and extension. MLB scores around the league: 2 games, both tied at 0-0. Cardinals and Pirates rain delay in the top of the first. Padres and Phillies in the top of the second. And the Jays up in about 11 minutes time. Max Scherzer on the mound for that one. Bo Bichette, a scratch with a knee injury. Edmonton Stingers in action tomorrow, 4 p.m. Canada Day special. They'll play host to the Montreal Alliance. Edmonton Riverhawks, 7:05 first pitch down at Remax Field versus Port Angeles. I'm Declan Kruger. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440 in West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin. CKJR is a Stingray radio station.
Download the free radio player app and listen wherever you go.
Experience Edmonton Stingers Pro Basketball. Celebrate Canada Day with a game on Tuesday, July 1st at 4 p.m. It's the most affordable, family-friendly, fun sports experience in the city. Tickets start at just $20. thestingers.ca.
Adventure just doesn't stumble into your life. It roars to life with Riverside Motorsports. Tearing up trails or cruising the open road. Yamaha ATVs, side-by-sides, motorcycles, and dirt bikes deliver the performance you crave. Built for thrills, ready for your next adventure. Yamaha's legendary performance and reliability take you there. Make Mother Nature your playground on a Yamaha from Riverside Motorsports. Located on St. Albert Trail. RideRiverside.com. Riverside Motorsports. What you do for fun is our business.
You've got a go-to coffee spot, a trusted barber, even a lucky game day jersey. But when it's about looking your absolute best, there's only one name you need: Mr. Dirk. Family run since 1939, we're experts in crafting impeccable tailor-made suits and offering a wide variety of everyday styles. Pair that with personalized one-on-one fittings and the convenience of on-site tailoring. Mr. Dirk elevates your style game. Visit our Edmonton store or explore MrDirk.com. Score big on style with Mr. Dirk. The sun is shining, the weather's warm, and some of Edmonton's favorite sports are back in season. If you're looking for the cherry on top of a perfect summer day, check out Play Alberta to experience casino, sports, and lottery all in one app. Download the Play Alberta app today and deposit $20 or more with promo code OIL to claim a $100 casino bonus. That's promo code OIL for a $100 casino bonus on us. Gamable once per Play Alberta account. Remember, if you gamble, please use your game sense.
McDonald's summer drink days are back, which means it's officially summer. Enjoy your refreshing small Coca-Cola or small iced coffee for just $1 all summer. Summer's booming with summer drink days. Excludes flavored iced coffee at participating McDonald's in Canada. Taxes extra. Prices exclude delivery.
You don't have to wait. Boxing Day is back at the Brick. For 4 days, shop incredible deals, like mattresses starting at just $99. Save big on genuine leather sofas and sectionals. Queen beds start at only $199. And save the tax when you buy 2 or more major kitchen appliances. Plus, get free local delivery on outdoor furniture purchases of $4.99 or more. Some exclusions apply. See in-store for details. Boxing Day starts Friday at the Brick, saving you more.
McDonald's summer drink days are back, which means it's officially summer. Enjoy your refreshing small Coca-Cola or small iced coffee for just $1 all summer. Summer's booming with summer drink days. Excludes flavored iced coffee at participating McDonald's in Canada. Taxes extra. Prices exclude delivery.
The Summer Drive event is on now at Buick. Right now, get 0% financing for up to 60 months on the 2025 Buick Envision. Make your presence known with available 20-inch alloy wheels with pearl nickel finish. Showcase your style with available quilted perforated front leather appointed seats. And radiate confidence on any drive with Buick's suite of standard safety features. Get behind the wheel of your Buick Envision today. Ask your Buick dealer for details.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Sherbrooke Liquor. Sherbrooke is a house of curiosities, a mom and pop, a curated experience that is equal parts wine tasting and 2-4s for Canada Day weekend. See more at SherbrookeLiquor.com.
From puck drop to kickoff, it's the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
After 5 o'clock, how you doing, Jason Gregor? Declan Kruger, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca. It's the Gregor Show, as always, presented by PlayAlberta.ca, your one-stop shop, lottery, instance, casino, live dealer, and, of course, sports. You want to get on the odds boost tonight for the Jays game? Get in on the action at PlayAlberta.ca. Remember, tomorrow's Lotto Max draw, $55 million. Good luck at PlayAlberta.ca. Man, there's lots going on. Free agency doesn't start till tomorrow, but there is lots going on. The Oilers, of course, Evan Bouchard, 4 years at $10.5 million AAV. Kapanen, 1 year at $1.3. Noah Philp, 1 year, two-way deal at $775. Mitch Marner, of course, gets traded to Vegas for Nick Roy, and then it's a sign and trade. He signs a 8-year deal at $12 million. Florida keeps Ekblad at 6.1, Marchand at 5. I think it's 5.3. I have to double check if they've put out the official number on his contract, but either way, it is big money. So not official yet on Marchand's deal, but they're saying 6-year deal according to Friedman at 32 mil. So you do the math on that, it's about 5.3. So that is some good 5.33 actually. So good for him, but he's 37 years of age. Also, Provorov signs in Columbus for $8.5 million. So there is lots of money being handed out today. Romanov in Montreal, $6.25 million for 8 years. Like there's some big contracts, right? 8-year deals. So Noah Dobson, 8, Bennett, 8, Aaron Ekblad, 8, Romanov, 8. Lots of 8s, man. Lots of 8s. And Jacob Chikrin signed an 8-year extension back for a $9 million a year back in March. So a lot of 8 years. Let's get to the spec report brought to you by GS Construction. Just reminding you, summertime, slow down, especially through the construction zones, courtesy of GS Construction. As Mark Spector from Rogers Sportsnet joins us. Spec, how you doing?
Oh, pretty good. I wish someone was like, I'm waiting for you to tell me you're going to pay me 7 times my usual rate for this hit, since everyone else is spending money, Jay. Why aren't you?
Hey, buddy, the signing season's a little ridiculous. I'll give you a Noah Philp, like, two-way deal. How about that?
Yeah, right. So, like, one day I'll be on this station, the next day I'm on, like, CJSR. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that'll work out. Up and down. Oh, bad hit. See you, Spec. There, down there. That would be nice.
Hit. Working for $20 on the captain station. Oh, man.
What do you make?
Tossing the money around today, aren't they?
Yeah. What do you make of the Bouchard contract?
I think, to me, he was always a $10 million signing. I heard some guys saying 9.5, and I thought, hey, wouldn't that be sweet for the Oil? He is deserving of that money. His statistics are, his the stats are there. You just can't argue with it. I would have loved to have been his agent. It would have been a pretty easy gig. I think the Oilers I'm told the Oilers tried to, talk to him about an 8-year deal. And I think his agent, Dave Gagne, wisely said, why are we signing for 8 years? Let's sign for 4. And after 4, we might be signing for $15 million a year, right?
Mm-hmm.
So frankly, I'm not surprised by any of what happened here. The Oilers are in a bit of a cap crunch. I mean, they're looking at, you know what? By the time McDavid's contract comes into play, let's say he signs for fun. Let's say he signs for $70 million. 17, 14. That's Draisaitl's 14. That's 31. That's 40. Let's call it $42 million between those 3 guys. That's over a third of the Oilers cap when that happens.
Yeah, I looked at the Oilers. If you look at everybody's comparing it, so let's go percentage wise. Florida won with their top 4 guys making 44%. Their top 6 made 59%. The Oilers' top 6, when McDavid's new deal kicks in, let's say it's 16 mil. Their top 6, if it's still the same and Nurse is here, their top 6 is 57% of the cap. It's actually lower than what Florida won with. So now it doesn't have a goalie in Bobrovsky, right? So there's, you got to look at some things there for sure. But, teams are still, there's lots of teams who win are top heavy. I just look at it this way. We can talk, we're blue in the face, worrying about Florida. The only time Edmonton has to worry about Florida is if they get to the Cup final. And when I just look at the teams in the West, and the Oilers waxed them. They dominated Vegas. They dominated Dallas. Have those 2 teams, we just had Ken Bolke on from Vegas. He's like, well, I don't know if they're any better. Marner's in, right? But Pietrangelo and Hager out. That's 2 of their top 5 defensemen. They're gone because Pietrangelo is going to be on LTIR, and they're not sure he's going to play again. So, are they better, right? And Ken pointed out, he goes, Marner's a great passer, but they couldn't score. They don't have shooters. He's not necessarily going to help in that regard. So now maybe Jack Eichel will just spend all summer shooting. But Jack Eichel said everyone that's talked to him for years has said shoot the puck more, and he's yet to do it. So maybe this year he'll do it. But, we'll see. Edmonton, I get the consternation amongst fans, but Florida also had the perfect storm. All their guys played unreal. So many guys had career years. That's just not happening again in the playoffs, right? They're not all going to have career years again. It just doesn't happen, right? It's like Edmonton, they went to the Cup final when McDavid was lights out and Draisaitl and Bouchard. They're all setting records. Well, they didn't do it. In fact, this past year, the Oilers' depth guys were way better, and their top guys got outscored. So each year, it's different ways when you get to the playoffs.
Well, and I think people have to get to the realization that, no one's saying Florida doesn't deserve both cups. They were better in that Game 7. They were better in the last 2 games of series. This isn't me saying Edmonton was every bit as good, but they're so close. When you get to games 97 through 104 or whatever it is, and you're both playing each other, don't tell me that. I don't care who wins the series, Jason. I don't care who's playing in the series. Don't tell me that one team is way better than the other because they won in 7 and they won in 6. They're, that tiny fraction better than the other team, sure. But don't look at Florida and go, well, there's a reason Edmonton didn't beat Florida. Edmonton's clearly nowhere close. They're exceptionally close. And we watched them walk through the West. So I think there's been a huge overreaction out there to how great Florida is, how bad Edmonton is, and the giant chasm in between the 2 teams. That chasm is about a quarter inch or less in my eyes.
Yeah. Kapanen, 1-year deal, 1.3. I know you had reported that Connor Brown's testing the market. I don't think he's coming back. I do know, Spec, the Oilers, they're trying to make moves here. Obviously, Arvidsson, maybe Henrik, I don't know. But they would love to get a scoring winger if they could. Now, the only way they can do that is if they trade some salary. And the one name that I've gotten more texts from people around the league that, whispers about Darnell Nurse. Now, I don't know if it's plausible or not, but it is. I've never had that before, ever. So I don't know if it's just rumors and so there's more people, but I'm like, man, I haven't heard anything specific about it. But when I have that many people texting me about it, I'm like, maybe there's more to it.
Well, I it's the old when there's smoke thing. I think that, I can see that situation. Obviously, he makes a lot of money. For really, he has become, Darnell Nurse is the number 3 defenseman on this team. And I don't care what team we're talking about or what guy and whether I like him or know him or any of that stuff. You can't pay your number 3 defenseman $9.25 and think that you have a properly structured salary system on your team. He's just simply making too much money. I can come on here, Jay, and tell you all the awesome things about Darnell Nurse, and he, to me, goes totally unappreciated, and the city gangs up on him because he makes too much money. And boy, you'd miss him if he's gone. And he's a huge piece of that leadership group and the guys in that room and all those intangibles. He is a ground floor guy on this group, man, like big time. You know, so all of those things. But you can have a list a mile long of those positives. But you can't, at the same time, you can't deny that 9.25 for your number 3 defenseman is just too much money. And it's indisputable.
No.
So, you know, if Stan Bowman quietly was looking around the league and saying, hey, does anyone feel like they need Darnell Nurse? It wouldn't surprise me. You know, this isn't me saying they got to trade him or they don't want him. He's no good. None of that stuff. But that salary, moving that salary would sure take the handcuffs off the GM in a big, big way.
Yeah, now I don't know if you'd ever move it full. You probably got to retain some, which is still not great. I don't love salary retention because it means just kind of dead cap space. But you know,
take a different player. You know, take a different player from a team that maybe they don't want so much you can live with. Or who knows, man? You're right. Listen, you don't get to trade. The only reason you're trading Darnell Nurse is because he makes too much money. If he made $6 million, we wouldn't be having this conversation. So you can't expect someone else to just accept that bad contract.
Well, no,
say, thanks.
No,
right?
They're not going to. But that's the point. You trade it away, and then all of a sudden, like look at Seth Jones now. Everyone's like, Seth Jones isn't any good. I'm like, well, Chicago's terrible. And now people think Seth Jones is unreal because he's $7 million, plus he's on a better team, so he looks better. Like this isn't rocket science here. Now, Nurse is on a good team, and he's struggling. That's the challenge, right? Like there are some limitations to his game. There's good things to his game, but there are some limitations. And the fact that I've kind of heard it just makes me wonder that, it's a new manager in town and he's looking at every option. He didn't sign the player, right? And we all know that it's different in that regard when it happens. So I'll be kind of curious just to see potentially what comes from that. You know, the Arvidsson one, we're seeing other guys get traded. And so obviously they would like to trade him, just hasn't happened yet.
Yeah, there's no question there. Arvidsson to me, Jason, is if you're Bowman and I'm one of 7 other GMs out there that I could probably dig up, I'm saying to you, well, look, let me get through free agency, Stan, because I got my eyes on this other guy for this other price or this other position. I got some plans in free agency. If I haven't been able to get my guy in free agency, I'm going to phone you back on July 3 and let's talk about Arvidsson. I think that's who Arvidsson is. He's that guy. He's everybody's fallback plan here. Not everybody, but you know what I'm saying. There are teams out there looking for a middle 6 right winger that are going to hope to get a guy in free. Let's say, I'm not saying he's Brock Besser, but let's say there's 4 teams want Brock Besser, right? Only one gets him. Then there's 3 other teams that are thinking, man, I still need a right winger here. So that's how I see Arvidsson. I think I suspect Stan can move him, and I'm pretty darn sure it won't be in July 1st or 2nd.
Do you think Corey Perry comes back?
Ooh. I mean, I kind of hope so, but listen, the ball's totally in his court. I'm afraid he's going to have to come back here for not as much money as he could probably find somewhere else. But I'm also going to say to you, how much money has that cat made in his career? Somebody go on Cat Geek and figure out, your Cap Friendly, whatever we're calling it these days. What would Corey's career earnings be, Jason?
94 or $5 million.
Right. So he's made, let's say just for fun, he's closing at $100 million in his career.
He's okay.
So if he makes $1 million here instead of taking $1.4 million somewhere else, like, come on, man. Really? So I would guess, if you made me guess right now, I say he comes back, he takes the less money, and he tries to win here. And if I'm the Oilers, I'm happy to have him back. Listen, I don't think that the guy who had a 19-goal season in his 39-40 aged year is going to have another 19-goal season in his 40-41 aged year. But he still can score. He's still versatile. he's still got better hands than almost any fourth liner in the league, and he can jump up on your power play when Hyman's hurt or something. So yeah, I'd sign him. What about you?
I'm torn. I really am. Like, it was a utopian season for Corey Perry last year.
It was.
And at times, now he produces. There's no question about that. He produces. Do I think it's kind of like Florida? They had like the perfect season, and I don't think you can replicate it. And I would say that for Corey Perry. So I you know what? At $1 million, you know what? If I signed all my other guys and he was the last guy, okay. At that point, but I'm not signing him before other guys just because I want to see who knows who I can get out there. Maybe.
Yeah, that is totally fair. That's totally fair. I guess I just feel like don't get me wrong, I'm signing him as my fourth line right winger. And how many guys that I would normally make my fourth line right winger are going to sort of give me the ability to jump up and play next to McDavid for some shifts, the ability to jump up on the power play for some shifts. Not many fourth line guys that give you that option. So, you know, in the old days, I'd have said, give me a big tough guy who can punch people in the head, but those days are gone.
Yeah. Yeah. No. Oh yeah. Well, I think Edmonton I would like them to add somebody with a little bit of physical, like, you know, body contact. Like Corey Perry will get in everybody's face, does all that. I love it. But I think with Kane gone, and yeah, they have Frederic, I'd still like him to add a little bit more juice and sandpaper on their fourth line.
Well, that's fair. I mean, I will say this to you. How many fights Corey Perry have this year?
Yeah, but I'm not talking fights, Beck. Fights are schmites. I'm talking guys like running around, hitting some guys can get you going. And I love Corey Perry's willingness to fight. I love it, but it's not, you know, like 5 fights a year over a guy who's physical with 3 hits a game. I'd probably take the guy with 3 hits a game.
Yeah, no, in today's game, I'll agree with you. That's fair.
Yeah. So, and trust me, I like seeing fisticuffs every now and then. But I'd be like, hey, Darnell Nurse, you're not the number 1 D-man anymore. You could probably drop the mitts a little bit more, right? And you're good at it. So I'd probably like to see it.
Yeah. So. Yeah, that's fair too. And I mean, I don't think you're going to get playoff Kapanen next year. You know, a guy running around like there's a guy with speed and size and the ability to be that player. I think in his career, we've seen that you don't get that player during the season very often, but I guess you can always dare to dream. if playoff Kapanen showed up in the first game of the season, he'd be signing a deal for someone else next year for $3 million.
And you know what? To his, like, he did mention how he kind of realized Edmonton was, you know, last chance saloon. So maybe he's like, okay, like I'm capable of a little bit more here, and if I want another contract next summer, then yeah, I got to play. Now, you don't have to hit everybody every game in the regular season. I get it, but probably needs to be a little bit more consistent than he has been in the past. I think that's fair to ask.
Yeah, for sure, man. Absolutely.
Yeah. So, what if you have to get one signing for the Oilers tomorrow? What is it?
Oh boy, one signing for the Oilers tomorrow. I think they got to figure out what they're doing. I want to say in that kind of Connor Brown spot. Let's say third line penalty killing specialist, a guy that could be like one of the first guys over the boards. I need someone to kill some penalties on this team. If you're losing Connor Brown, that's one thing he did a lot of. So I guess that's what I'd say. Who is that guy, Jay? Like, who's that guy out there?
I look, buddy. They're honestly like right shot centers and wings. There's not a lot of them. Like I think Tomasek might be that guy, to be honest.
Yeah, I've seen too many guys who've never played an NHL game till they're 29 come over here. And I'm not saying he can't play, but if you think he's going to fill in as a gritty penalty killer.
Well, I don't know about gritty. You know, Brown never hit anybody when he forecheck with his stick,
okay,
right?
You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, don't tell me we're hinging a big spot on your team, an important position, on some cat who's 29 years old who's never played a game in North America. Don't tell me that, Jay.
Well, hey, buddy, they might be. I'm just saying.
Yeah, that's. You know what? I think this. I think you know what this falls under the category of, Jason. It falls under the category of, let's try this guy till the deadline.
Yes, right? Totally. That's what it tries. Yeah, 100%. Yes.
And let's give him 50 games, and after about 35, we're probably going to have our answer, and we're going to figure it out. If maybe we need to address it at the trade deadline, or hey, maybe he surprises us and he does what we hoped he'd do. But for sure, I think Tomasek's a guy. He's going to play for you. And Savoy's a guy. He's going to play for you.
They're both going to get looks, and then they'll see if what they do. Right?
Is Noah Philp going to play for you? Is he your 4C or?
Well, I think they got to bring in another center just on the off chance, but I think he'll get a strong look. Like, this is going to be his opportunity. Like, he's in an unreal position. There's no doubt in my mind. This guy's in a fantastic spot here to get a look.
Yep, he is. And, let's say we got 3 guys there that we're hoping for the best and fearing for the worst. And come trade deadline, I mean, if 2 of those guys do the job, you're happy as heck. Probably the law of averages says that 1 will, and then you address the rest of your issues at the deadline, So they don't, until they trade Arvidsson. I mean, I know you can be non-cap compliant here, right?
Yeah, you can be 10. You can be 10% over, which basically they could have a cap of $105 million up until September 15th or whatever the date is.
Yeah, I'm not sure how you do that, but either way, you can certainly spend Arvidsson's money thinking you're going to trade him. So, let's see what they do, man. I don't love the crop of players out there for what they're looking for. No. Like, I'm with you. I'm looking through it. There's guys like Brock Besser. I'd love to see Brock Besser here, but he's going to want like $8 million. There's no way you can have him.
Yeah.
I just don't see that.
I'm with you. Spec, have yourself a great day. We will we'll chat with you. Have a good Canada Day tomorrow.
Yes. We're not on the radio tomorrow.
Well, Low Tide and I are between 10 and 1, so I'll be texting you. Okay, we'll set up a time.
Yeah, set something up for me. Sounds good, Jake.
All right, buddy.
Okay.
There you go. It's Mark Speck with the Spec Report, brought to you by GS Construction. When we come back, Trent Frederic will join us here live on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
The sun is shining, the weather's warm, and some of Edmonton's favorite sports are back in season. If you're looking for the cherry on top of a perfect summer day, check out Play Alberta to experience casino, sports, and lottery all in one app. Download the Play Alberta app today and deposit $20 or more with promo code OIL to claim a $100 casino bonus. That's promo code OIL for a $100 casino bonus on us. Gameable once per Play Alberta account. Remember, if you gamble, please use your game sense.
Your hard hat and huddle up. Your Edmonton Elks take on the Ottawa Redblacks this Sunday at 5. It's the first ever hard hat huddle game, presented by Purolator Tackle Hunger, featuring excavators and diggers in the tailgate and construction-themed in-game contests. Tickets start at just $20. Score yours now at goelks.com.
The Discovery Day sales event is on now at Volvo Cars Edmonton. It's your final month to lease a 2025 XC90 plug-in hybrid from 1.49% and save $5,000. Lease or finance a 2025 XC60 plug-in hybrid from 0.49% and save $4,000. Lease or finance a 2025 XC40 from 0.49% and save up to $2,000. Come and discover the deals now at Volvo Cars Edmonton. Great vehicles, better services. Only at VolvoCarsEdmonton.com.
Reports suggest that Canadian taste buds are bored to tears.
My mouth can't handle another dull drink.
Summertime smoothie experts everywhere are recommending a watermelon wake-up from Booster Juice.
It's so smooth, cool, and refreshing.
And ridiculously delicious. Enjoy the Watermelon Wave and Watermelon Explosion smoothies, available all summer long at a Booster Juice near you. Stay cool, Canada.
Booster Juice, Canadian born, blending since 1999.
I'm Colin Livingston, president of Cantork. Since 2016, we've been at the forefront of hydraulic torque wrenches in Canada. I'm delighted to share our latest venture, in-house production for quicker turnaround, superior quality, and heightened versatility. Experience excellence at Cantork.com.
And now Action Electrical's testing team is on defense duty. They're the guardians of safety and compliance, a critical part of any lineup.
Precisely. They perform rigorous safety and code compliance testing for commercial operations. Think of them as the referees, ensuring everything is up to standard before disaster strikes.
Their preventative plays are legendary, spotting faults early. Hire the Action Electrical team to bring home a win for your project. Visit actionelectrical.net.
Landscaping this summer? Call Bashaw Concrete Products. That's right, more than concrete. Their landscaping division has everything you're after. A huge selection of P-rock, washed rock, and sand. Gray limestone, red shale, mulch, compost, landscape fabric, and topsoil. Plus, the full line of Barkman products, including pavers, retaining wall blocks, fire pits, and precast planters. Landscape products made for your outdoor living space. Residential or commercial, start here. BashawConcrete.com and follow them on Facebook.
Portions of this hour brought to you by your Alberta GMC dealers. Employee pricing is on now at GMC. Get up to $12,000 off on a 2025 Sierra 1500 Crew Cab Denali Ultimate only at gmccanada.ca.
Pro sports, local sports, minor leagues, you got it all. It's the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
$25. Welcome back, Sports 1440. How you doing, Jason Gregor? Sports 1440, sports1440.ca. You can listen to the show. You can watch the show. We appreciate it. Also, Jays and the Yankees. How about this? The Jays sweep this series. They'd be tied with the Yanks. Heck, go 2-1, and they're within 2. So, big game. Max Scherzer on the mound. Really good start for the elder statesman, for all of our baseball fans. Of course, tomorrow we will have free agent frenzy coverage starting at 10 a.m. on Canada Day right here on Sports 1440. Now, let's get to the oil report brought to you by Volvo Cars Edmonton. As the Discover Days event continues on now, you can lease a Volvo XC90, 1.49% lease, or save an additional $5,000 only at VolvoCarsEdmonton.com. As we welcome to the show a gentleman who signed an 8-year contract extension with the Edmonton Oilers. Trent Frederic joins us. Trent, how you doing, man?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm good. Not as good as you. You had to, not only did you have a big contract, I was making a joke because I found out your brother got married this past weekend. Did he not?
He's getting married in a couple weekends. He had a couples party.
Oh, couples party. All right.
Yeah, big day coming. We got a bachelor trip coming up soon, and it should be a good little event.
Okay, well there you go. Well, geez, now that his bro just got to sign an 8-year deal, I guess your gift for the wedding is going to have to be increased.
I got him something a while ago, so it's good. I think I took care of him.
That's good. So Trent, walk me through this. You came to Edmonton. Obviously you had a high ankle sprain. Can you put into words just how limited you were? Because I watched at times when I would see you go to make a body check and you were kind of hitting with your arms more than following through, because I just don't know if you had the strength in your ankle to deliver a body check properly. Is that fair?
Yeah. I mean, I think towards the end it got better and better. Obviously, anytime you have something wrapped up and you're doing everything you can, it makes it a little bit more difficult, but they did a good job of making me feel the best I could out there. And I'm excited to start skating soon without any crazy restrictions.
But can you put into context, like on a percentage of just how effective you felt your skating was compared to what a normal Trent Frederic is? Like, is it safe to say that Oiler fans probably didn't get to see the full version of Trent Frederic yet?
Yeah, I think I wasn't too thrilled with, my playoffs. I mean, you could use the ankle or whatever you want as an excuse, but at the end of the day, if you're in the lineup, you got to play your best. And yeah, I think Oilers fans will like me. Hopefully I'll start the year off healthy and strong here and get a good fan base behind me.
You came to Edmonton, you were here, you're banged up, but you committed for 8 years. What is it about the organization that you felt this was the place to be for, the next 8 seasons?
Yeah, I talked to Bob earlier, Stoff, about this. And honestly, when I first got traded, I didn't have any, I don't want to say, I didn't have any plans of continuing to, I was going to take it with an open mind, and I did. And when I first showed up, everyone was so great to me. The trainers, the equipment trainers, the workout guys, the chefs, just everyone. It's just a great little community in there, and just great people. And I can see with all those people in there and the great locker room they have in there, that this is going to be a successful team, and that's something I want to be a part of.
You were, when you got here, you were banged up. So Connor McDavid was also injured. So you guys got to spend a lot more time together than maybe you would have normally. How much of that impact because obviously you see the player and you see how good he is, but getting to kind of know your captain on maybe a level that you might not have had you been fully healthy.
Yeah, I mean, obviously he's a great captain, great player, and sure a lot of people in Edmonton realize that he's a great person, and I did get to spend a lot of time with him. Unfortunately, he had an injury. Fortunate for me, I got to spend a lot of time with him and get close with him, and he's very welcoming. I got to go over, and he'd always have me over hanging out. I was staying at the hotel, so it made it very easy for me, and he's a big reason why for sure I'm staying.
What is the thing you learned most when you spent that time with McDavid?
I would just say how committed he is to hockey and winning and being the best version of himself, which is the best. But he's just all aspects of his life. He's committed to hockey, and all he cares about is winning, and that's what I want to be a part of. And he really is impressive. Even off the ice, it's pretty cool to see.
Trent Frederic joins us. So Trent, this offseason, obviously you mentioned, you have your brother's wedding and everything. You got to take some time off, but it's a short summer just because you go all the way to the Stanley Cup final. What are the things or one or two things that you're going to focus on the most this offseason that you feel you want to improve on as a player?
Yeah. First, I'm doing everything I can to get my ankle and get my body as healthy as possible before I just completely ramp it up. But hockey aspects, there's some stuff I want to work on with my skating. Obviously, a little bit limited from the get-go in that jump, and then some of just being these puck touches I'll work on. But I'm excited. I have a little time before I can get on the ice where they fully want me out there. So I'll be doing a lot of stuff in the gym.
Now, you mentioned at your season-ending press conference that you'd like to play center. So when you have the conversation with Chris Knobloch, how does that go? Like, do you prepare this summer that you're going to be a center iceman, or does he look and say, well, we do have some openings on the left wing, like that Leon Draisaitl guy, or even the Connor McDavid guy? Like, how do you balance that and knowing maybe what position you'll play?
Yeah, no, I more just when we had our conversation in your meeting, when I came in, when I got traded, it was something that I can play, or I believe I can play left, right, and center. Obviously, a lot of guys that are in the NHL now have all probably grew up playing center for the most part. So it's hard to just go in and say I want to be a center, but it would be something I'd would love to try, and I think I'd be effective at it. And could bring a different element to help out the team.
What is it about center? Is it just because you're moving more? Is that what makes it more enjoyable for you, or is there other aspects of that position that you feel allows you to maybe maximize your game?
Yeah, I think moving more. I think you have more responsibility in the defensive zone, which I would love. I would love to, have that part be part of my game and someone hard to play against. Sometimes as a winger, it's tough. You get stuck up top, and you could be trying to block a shot or kind of staying with your D-man or maybe breaking up a pass. But there's just limited amount of stuff you can do, and with center you can close. You have more impact in the defensive zone, and then obviously, like you said, you're skating a little bit more. So that's something I'll definitely have to work on this summer is getting my cardio to where it needs to be.
You have a conversation at the end of the year about wanting to be on the penalty kill next season?
Yeah, I've had that conversation. It's as a player, it's tough to just be 5-on-5 player in this league. You have to bring a lot of things. And as you can see in the playoffs, there's games where there's penalties throughout the whole, first period or throughout whole periods. And when you're a 5-on-5 player, you can get kind of lost in the shuffle there. It can be tough. So I think I know I can penalty kill in this league, and I think I'll be really good at it. But just brings another element, just getting out there and helping the team out.
Trent Frederic joins us. About the penalty kill, and let's say, okay, you know what, Trent, how could you work on being a penalty killer in the off season? Is it video? What would allow you to improve and work on being a penalty killer? Because it's not like you're in penalty kill situations in the summertime very often.
Yeah, it's tough. It's similar to center. I mean, you can take faceoffs after skates, and you can watch film. It's kind of tough because so much hockey going on in the summer. It's a lot of times you learn a lot watching other NHL games. It's the same with the penalty killing. It's not like you can go through your routes, but I would say a lot of it is just being in good shape, being in really good shape, because Pellico could be one of those situations you could be pinned in there for 2 minutes, and that's something you got to be in pretty good shape to do.
Trent Frederic joins us, and Trent, obviously Boston's a hockey town, right? You grew up in Missouri, and it's becoming more of a hockey place. But in Canada, Edmonton, obviously, it's pretty rambunctious to put it politely. I think in the postseason, you're a very physical player, and I know that it's hard to block out. You play hard as much as you can. You don't want to use an excuse, but do you feel that when you're healthy, you can be a little bit more robust and energetic, and not just in fights, but in just the overall part of the physical game? Did the ankle limit that a bit for you psychologically at all?
I mean, maybe a little bit. I mean, it's hard. You're on a new team. A lot of that, the game I play is your personality or your on ice personality comes out. Sometimes you can shy away from that, just being with a new group. And I would say a little bit too is in the playoffs. Same thing. You're on a new team, and you're scared of taking penalties, and you can't really play the game that way. And it's definitely something that creeps in your head. And like I said, you don't have much. You don't have a whole season to show this is what you're about, and this is how you play. So it can make it a little bit more difficult. But I don't want to keep going back to the injury because it is what it is.
No, but is it fair to say though, like that's part of it that because I'd watch Boston games and like you seem to be a guy though that likes more, whether it's chirping or physical play, like you get into the game more when you play that way. Is that fair?
Yeah, I would say that's when the best of me comes out is when I'm playing like that. And, those are usually, I can't really just go out and play a dull game and be as effective. So I know I got to play hard and be a presence and have an impact in the game like that way.
So Trent, outside of what do you do for fun in the off season?
Right now, I got a new condo in the last little while back, so I'm doing stuff around here. I've gotten to golf a couple times, and just seeing a lot of family friends. I feel like I've been really busy, like you said. Before you know it, I'll be skating and working out every day, and some of that stuff you just can't do.
And how is your golf game?
It's better last summer because I had a lot more time. I probably won't. My index won't be dropping like it did last summer, but it's all right. I got new clubs. I've just only hit them a couple times, but hopefully it'll get a little bit better here.
So now, when your index is dropping, what did it drop to last summer?
Let's see. I was at 4.5 index. So I've only put in a couple scores this year, and it's already rose up to a 5 something. So trending up, which is I guess good when you're playing games.
Yeah. I guess that's a good reason why it's trending up. But what would you say? What's the best part of your golf game? And then, if you had time, what's the area you'd want to work on the most?
My best, no doubt, is my iron game. I would say my worst is my driver. Usually, if I can poke a decent driver, I'll usually play pretty well. But I would say my irons are my best game. That's what keeps me in everything.
Are you a calm golfer?
Yeah, I don't swing. I don't bang my clubs. I don't swing too hard. I really don't hit it far at all. Just a nice, easy swing I put on it. But yeah, I would say I'm pretty calm. No broken clubs for me.
No broken clubs for you. All right.
Yeah.
Coming into a new team, this is the first time you got traded mid-season. When you look back on it, was it easy to come in the room, or what's kind of the awkward phase, if the reason is a phase, when you come to a new team?
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely a little bit, coming in hurt makes it a lot harder. I was saying that the positive of that is that you get to meet all the staff very well.
Okay.
But you're not around the guys that much. You're just rehabbing and working out. And if anyone who's been hurt, you work probably twice as hard as you do when you're just playing. So, but the positive was I got to know the staff very well, and the negative was all the guys just see me in the training room all the time, getting work. And I tried in Boston. I try not to be there much, but so far Edmonton, I was living in there for a while. So
you're not a guy though historically that you don't like to be in the training room. very often is what you're saying. You try to avoid it like the plague?
Yeah, pretty much. I try not to, but in Edmonton, at Rogers, we have a pretty nice facility. There's a lot of good places to hang, but it seems like everyone likes to tend to hang around and talk about their night or whatever they did yesterday in the training room. So they make it very friendly in there, and, even if you're not getting work done. So it's a good spot.
Awesome. Now, are you the best man at your brother's wedding?
I am. Yes, I am.
Do you have to do a speech? How's your speech coming along? How's your speech going to be?
We'll see. I don't know how much public speaking I've done. We'll have to see. I've got some bullet points down. I don't really know what approach I'm going with, if I'm going with bullet points and going off the head, or if I'm just going to write a whole speech down and try to read it without everyone knowing I'm staring at the paper the whole time. So we'll see.
Now, is this older brother or younger brother?
This is one of my older brothers. He's 3 years older than me.
Now, how many siblings do you have?
I have 4 siblings. There's 5 of us total. I have an older sister and 2 older brothers and a younger brother.
Oh, okay. So you're number 4 in the pecking order. So out of the 4 boys growing up in the Frederic household, like were the mini sticks, road hockey games, were they pretty fierce?
Yes. So the one I'm in the wedding with, on his best man's wedding, we fought more than anyone. Didn't matter what we did. I kind of blame him. I could have maybe scored more goals at this point in my career if he didn't stick me in goalie all the time for his buddies. But
okay.
Yeah, we played a lot of we had an unfinished basement growing up, so we played a lot of hockey in there. Eventually, my dad was nice enough that we put up some like wooden boards, which caused a lot of bleeding and scars and good stuff like that. But I would say the most battles I had was with my brother, who I am his best man. And it's funny that way, when you fight growing up, you end up coming really close to someone.
Yeah, no, I get it, right? So I understand it. So that's where now, out of your 4 brothers, who was the most physical? Or is that you? Or is it your oldest brother? Like, who is? If I had to say, okay, the Frederics come in the room, there's Trent. Who's in the pecking order of the most aggressive?
I would probably pick me. If you're gonna fight someone in our room, probably pick me first. Just because you have the best chance of beating me up for sure. But my older brother Gino, he's definitely the scariest one, in the sense of if you were gonna get in a tussle with him. And then my brother Grant's a lefty, so he's the one that used to beat me up a lot. I got him a few times, but so he'd be pretty tough. And then my little brother Drake didn't play hockey. He's a big guy though. He's just too nice a person, so you'd probably be fine with him.
Now, what about your sis?
I don't know. I don't think she's much of a.
No, I just thought with 6 brothers, she might have had to defend herself at some point.
No, she was fine. She's a good athlete, really good athlete, probably the best one in her family. But no, I don't really know. I think you'd have to go through the brothers before you got to her.
Now, lastly for you, when your family, they're watching you go to the Stanley Cup final, obviously it's super exciting. Of your family members, who is the loudest in the crowd?
Oh, geez. I would have to it's my dad for sure. My dad and my mom.
Yeah.
I think the rest of my family's pretty chill. I'd like to think. I haven't sat with them for a game. But I would have to say my dad and my mom, I think they're very passionate.
All right. Well, Trent, congratulations on the new contract. Enjoy watching to see what moves your team makes here. I'm sure you're like a fan here over the next few days, kind of see what 100%. Happens. Yeah. So enjoy that and enjoy the wedding.
All right. Thank you very much. Have a great time. I'll see you soon.
You too. That's Trent Frederic. So 5 siblings, 4 brothers. Sounds like Gino Frederic's the guy to watch out for if you're running into the Frederic clan. Gino and Grant's a lefty, so nice. Trent probably underselling himself there a little bit. He knows how to hold his own, but sounds like the Frederic clan pretty tough. I like it. Take a quick break. We'll come back, wrap things up. It's a Jason Gregor Show, Sports 1440, Oilers Nation, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram.
McDonald's summer drink days are back, which means it's officially summer. Enjoy your refreshing small Coca-Cola or small iced coffee for just $1 all summer. Summer's booming with summer drink days. Excludes flavored iced coffee at participating McDonald's in Canada. Taxes extra. Prices exclude delivery.
Are you looking for safe and professional travel options? Look no further than Silent Rides, one of Alberta's premier bus charter companies. Whether your group is big or small, Silent Rides has you covered. We offer state-of-the-art motor coaches, first-class service, and affordable rates. Get your quote today. For more information, call 1-877-748-0991 or visit silentrides.ca.
Legacy Heating and Cooling is your #1 air conditioning company. So when you can't take living in oppressive heat any longer,
Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
if your hot, sticky sheets keep you up all night,
Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
if you've decided that you deserve to be cool and comfortable,
Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
and with no payments, no interest for 1 year, it could only be Legacy Heating and Cooling.
You don't have to wait. Boxing Day is back at the Brick. For 4 days, shop incredible deals, like mattresses starting at just $99. Save big on genuine leather sofas and sectionals. Queen beds start at only $199. And save the tax when you buy 2 or more major kitchen appliances. Plus, get free local delivery on outdoor furniture purchases of $499 or more. Some exclusions apply. See you in store for details. Boxing Day starts Friday at the Brick, saving you more.
Actions speak louder than words. Japa Machinery Group puts your construction plan into action with XCMG construction machinery you need. Available for rental or sale. Learn more at japamachinery.com.
With all the news about tariffs and price hikes coming our way, you have to be strategic with your money. St. Albert Dodge knows that and has some good news for you. Right now, all Ram 1500s are available with 0% financing for up to 72 months. So think about it. You can get into a brand new Ram 1500 right now at pre-tariff prices, while selection is still good, and pay 0 interest on your financing. That keeps more money in your pocket. And that's how easy it is to do business at St. Albert Dodge.
I'm Rick Showers from No Bull RV. Did you wake up this morning and think, I want to be a used RV salesman? If you're like most people, the answer is no. But if you want to sell your quality used RV yourself, then a used RV salesman is what you are.
Welcome to your new job.
That's right, Bob. Put it up on all the best websites. Wait for the phone to ring and be ready day or night, weekday or weekend. Drive out to the storage lot for every random tire kicker who calls and hope that what you have is exactly what they want.
There's an easier way to do this, Rick.
That's right, Bob. You could bring it to No Bull RV. We love selling used RVs, and the customers are already here. Commercials like this, bring them in by the hundreds. All you need to do is cash the check when it leaves our lot. Used RV salesman is not what you wanted to be when you woke up this morning. And if it was, well, I think you better come out here and apply for a job.
And that's No Bull.
NoBullRV.ca.
Portions of this hour brought to you by On the Rocks. Jump on OTR's party shuttle buses to Elks games, Riverhawks games, and concerts to Commonwealth. To see all upcoming bus events, visit ontherocksyag.com.
Hat tricks, touchdowns, and home runs. Get it all with the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
.548, welcome back. Jason Gregor, Declan Cougar, Sports 1440, Orders Nation, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. Should also point out to you today that Olivier Rodrigue, as I mentioned, I thought there was a pretty good chance he wouldn't get qualified. He is not being qualified by the Edmonton Oilers. They did only have 5 players who could have been qualified. Bouchard got a contract. Philp got a contract. And the other 3, Olivier Rodrigue, Cameron Wright, and Jacob Perreault, all were not receiving a qualifying offer, so they will now be unrestricted free agents. The Oilers goaltending, as I mentioned, the reason why I thought it was very plausible is the Oilers have 3 goalies outside of Olivier Rodrigue who are under the age of 24. And now Connor Unger was playing in the ECHL last year. He got banged up. He's not going to be ready to start the season, but they got Nathaniel Day, Samuel Johnson, both guys are signed now and will be turning pro. Well, Johnson's played pro in Europe, but he's coming over here. So one of those two will likely be the backup. So now if you look at the Oilers goalie situation, might be a situation where if they sign someone else, maybe Pickard's the starter in Bakersfield. Now, obviously, we'd have to clear waivers, so we'd see what the situation is. But very few teams like to claim him. Then he'd have to be their number 3. Now, Carolina just acquired Caden Primo from Montreal for a 7th rounder. So they've got Kochetkov and they got their guys. So maybe they think he'll be there. Now he doesn't require waivers, but you look at those situations. Now maybe someone gets injured. We'll see. There's lots of time between now and the regular season. The Oilers, who knows? Maybe they won't get a goalie, and they'll just sign like a number 3. They might re-sign Colin Delia potentially to a contract. So we'll kind of see what happens there. But Olivier Rodrigue was not sent a qualifying offer. Now, you could sign a lower deal if you wanted, but I would think they might go in another direction just to see. It's kind of tough how it goes. Hey, Greg's, what do you think Tanner Jeannot is going to get? It's a really good question. He's a unique player in the fact that big, strong, and when you offer certain elements more, you can get more. Now, I don't think you get a huge amount of money, and I'd have time for Tanner Jeannot on Edmonton on your 4th line at the right price. Right, big skate. He's not going to score 24 goals again. That was an outlier. Do I think he could score 12 for you? Possibly. Right, he can kill penalties a little bit. Hasn't done it a ton, but plausible. So I think the Oilers, that's a position they might be looking for. It's like I think Kapanen is somebody that probably could be used on the penalty kill next year because Connor Brown's most likely not coming back. And it's not like the Oilers penalty kill was great. Right now, there's rumblings of maybe like Noah Philp. I think if he makes the team, he'll be on the penalty kill. Adam Henrique. Some rumblings. Hey, maybe they'll trade him. Like if they were going to add a big score, and yes, they got to free up some money. So, him and Arvidsson would make sense. And I think that's why the rumors of not rumors, just the rumblings of a Darnell Nurse trade has come up. Do I think it's low chance? Yes, I do. But doesn't mean there's no chance. I just think it's a low chance. Hey guys, what do you think? Do you think there's any chance they would move Ekholm? He doesn't have a no movement clause. Well, I guess it's possible. And he's 35 years of age. Now he came back from injury, and so I still like Ekholm's smarts as a defender. Like if he's not in my top pair, but he's in my second pair, I'm okay with that. I'm pretty happy with it. So I would probably want to look at Ekholm, and maybe he's like a 1-year deal type of guy because he's 35 years of age, and you could give him bonus potentially if you want, or just sign him to a decent base because I think his next contract's going to be lower than the $6 million AAV he has now. So that's kind of how I see it coming out. But trading Ekholm, I don't know. That to me would be tough. Hey, Gregory, you cannot have 2 number 1 defensemen on one team. Can have a number 1 defender, number 1 offensive defenseman, but Nurse has to be a number 1 on your team to come out of his shell. I've seen it too many times. Bouchard couldn't take that place till Barry left, and Barry dropped off a cliff once he wasn't a number 1 offensive D-man. Well, he'd been in the league for 11, 12 years, when he left. So part of that might have been it. Bouchard's only 25 years of age. I don't think Bouchard's reached his peak yet as a player. So I think it's very different. He's played 3 seasons in the NHL, people. Is it 4? Maybe 4. But either way, Evan Bouchard he's just coming into his own. Evan Bouchard is the Oilers' number 1 defenseman. I know people, guess in the last 3 years, because I hear, he can't defend. Well, okay, but he's been on the ice for fewer goals than Cale Makar, and he plays more minutes. So are you certain that he's as terrible as you think offensively, or do you just remember some of the big mistakes and you overlook a lot of the other plays that he makes? Hey, Greggs, what do you think Anaheim's doing with McTavish? They're going to sign him, right? They qualified him. And so he'll probably file for arbitration, I would think. But I think Anaheim, they love Mason McTavish. He's not going anywhere, right? He's just And I don't even know if he has arb rights. I'd have to look. He might not. So they're probably in a good position. But I would be surprised if Mason McTavish doesn't sign a big contract extension this offseason with the Anaheim Ducks. I'd fully expect. Have yourselves a great evening, everyone. Tomorrow, remember, 10 o'clock right here, Sports 1440. Tune in to Free Agent Frenzy and coverage. What's going to happen? Lots of signings today, but there'll be more tomorrow. And there'll be a little bit of lunacy because that's what happens in the silly season. So enjoy it. Let's get to Declan Kruger and a Sports 1440 update brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca. Remember, if you gamble, use your GameSense, GameSenseAB.ca. Have a good night. We're out.
This is the Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440, a Stingray radio station broadcasting on Treaty 6 territory.
Download the free iHeartRadio app and listen to CKJR wherever you go.
On the Rocks, the party never stops.
Check it out.
Mondays, bingo tunes.
Tuesdays, tacos and tequila.
Wednesdays, it's wings and karaoke.
Shake what your mama gave ya with salsa lessons on Thursdays and the best Latin DJs.
Plus, live music every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, along with DJ Kenny K.
Hold on, let's not forget